Hi, hello, welcome back to Passive Pixels, the first podcast that tells you please don't listen to pretty much any of this, actually. I was going to say skip to timestamps and enjoy the podcast as you will, but no, at the last second I decided, no, you just probably shouldn't listen to this. Dorian, I would ask you how you feel, how was your day, etc., but both of our lists are terrible that I feel like that might be a waste of time.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, perfect. Table of contents, let's go. I've got Full Metal Jacket, First Blood, Voice of Cards, Hitman, Shiva Baby, Doctor Strangelove, In the Mood for Love, The Tree of Life, The Outsiders, Jarhead, How I Met Your Father, Habroxia, Astral Chain, Scott Pilgrim, Howl's Moving Castle, Overcooked, Speed, Speed 2 Cruise Control, Final Fantasy 4, Princess Mononoke, Willy Wonka, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Brady Bunch Movie, and X-Men First Class. Ah,
Well, not to one up you, but I've got Valhalla, Deathloop, The Last Guardian, Cuphead, Trails in the Sky, Second Chapter, Cowboy Bebop, Old Boy, Redline, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, The Tragedy of Macbeth, Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, The Apartment, Shiva Baby, Apocalypse Now, Dredd, Ladybird, Looper, Nobody, Sin City, Akira, Who Framed Roger
oh
Rabbit,
my god.
Dune, Sing Street, Dunkirk, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, and Train to Busan.
Okay, so at least unedited, that was a minute and 30 seconds. And usually our intros are like 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So we already
You're
saved a
saving time
minute.
already, baby.
Jesus. Okay, get we've tried out of the way. Let's go.
Yeah, okay. So let me get all this weeb shit out of the way first. Some of it I like, some of it not so much. We'll start at the top here of my list, though. That's Valhalla, a cyberpunk bartender story. I'm probably saying it wrong. Look, here's the thing. I actually do like this game. Really chill, just slightly too horny visual novel about life, bartending, and a good time. Honestly, I would normally go in.
We've trial
What's
definitely.
that?
We've trial definitely.
Yeah, we've tried material for sure. I would actually go into more detail normally about it, but a friend of the show, of course, Mr. Straw, who was on here for the 13 Sentinels podcast, he's
Mhm.
going to be doing actually a pretty in-depth podcast about this with a bunch of us that I should be on as well. So I will save more of my thoughts for there and just, it's a better spending for it. But overall, I really enjoyed this game. I think it's worth your time if you like that sort of thing. And yeah, it's cool.
You know what? Beef is really good for numbers, so I'm just gonna cut that out so then we don't give Straw Hat any advertisement whatsoever. Straw Hat, we're beefing now. We have no reason to beef. Maybe we'll figure it out later in a boxing match that we sell for millions of dollars on YouTube.
Okay, you're saying cutting that out, but can you just like beep it instead? Like just have like a loud beep go over it, except for the straw hat part, so he'll listen and wonder. Like you'll hear that, but everything else will be beeped out because I think it'd be amazing. I don't know how hard that would be to edit
What
though.
if I just add a tiny beep in the name Straw Hat? Like whenever you try to beep someone's name on Twitter where you just add a star so they can't be
It's
searched.
amazing.
What if it's just like
Yeah.
Strip Hat?
I love it. All right, we're already going too far on that though. So yeah, but
Exactly.
yeah,
It's non sequitur. Valhalla.
but
I tried this on Switch a while back, and I was like, "Ooh, this is actually kind of cool." But then when I realized that the gameplay was mixing drinks, I was like, "I kind of don't care," and then I moved on.
cool. All right, so yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10. By the way.
I give it an alcoholic out of 10. What do I have for? You know what? How I Met Your Father is going to be a weeb trial. How I Met Your Father is actually fucking terrible. The I actually counted it. It was 6 seconds before I gave up, and the reason why it was 6 seconds is that as soon as the episode started, it played the theme from How I Met Your Mother, and I was like, "You're already fucking up." And then the ba 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 ba, it kicked in, but it was female vocals this time, and all
Oh.
of it felt so. I was like,
Oh.
I started seething. I yelled at the team. I was like, "No!" Like the writing is fucking terrible. How people perceive How I Met Your Mother when it was on CBS, what that perception was, that's How I Met Your Father. That's what that show is. The show fucking sucks. I watched 2 episodes, and honestly, I checked out after those 6 seconds. I'm not even joking. I completely gave up.
Yeah, I'm tempted. I was tempted to watch this just so I could bitch about it with you, but I also apparently value my time slightly more than yours, so I didn't.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The only reason I did it is because my wife was threatening to torture me by watching it, and I was like, "Joke's on you, bitch. I'll watch it too."
Is she out too?
Oh, I have no
Oh,
idea.
okay.
I didn't even ask
All
her.
right.
I didn't wanna hear her opinion. I don't wanna hear anyone's opinion. I already know what my opinion is on this.
Fair.
You can tell me all right now that on IMDb, everyone was like, "It's the greatest show of all time." It's like, "You guys can fuck off, okay?"
The only thing I'll say about this I've always liked Hillary Duff, so I'm happy you're getting a paycheck, Miss Duff.
Get your fucking paycheck, Hillary Duff, okay? You get your paycheck. We all know that Disney Plus, that check for what was it again?
Hannah or
The Hillary Duff
Hillary
show.
Duff, Hannah
Yeah.
Montana.
Yeah, the Hillary Duff show. The Hillary Duff show on Disney Plus that we all know the millennials loved. Move on. Next. Wait, no, hold on. Rating. How I Met Your Father is usually whenever I last 6 seconds, I'm sadder than this out of 10.
Yeah, I'm never going to watch out of 10 for sure.
Prestigious award.
Yes. Okay. Trails in the Sky, second chapter. Shout out to Sean Mason. I'm just gonna mention this quickly because I know you love this series. Honestly, I've only played 45 minutes of it, so I've got nothing to say about it. I've started it. I'll be bitching about it, I'm sure, on the next episode.
That's 2 hours more than you should have spent on that.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the reason I'm playing this is because I kind of want to make myself hate video games again, so I'm trying to kneecap myself. So
Oh, wonderful. We hate video games on Passive Pixels, which is why it's half the name. I'll go ahead and take it from here. Astral Chain. I've been meaning to try this because it's been slowly going out of print. It was Platinum Games, and I could have sworn that when they advertised this game for the first time on a Nintendo Direct, that Kechi Okabe was doing the music for it, only to find out that when I booted up the game and it said composed by, it was not him. And I was like, oh no, there goes my entire reason to try this. And I kept playing it and I was like, oh man, this is really close. I might enjoy this. But the thing is that you're fighting as a person. The big little monster thing behind you is auto battling. So it's like, I get to have the more boring part of the combat. This sucks. However, Astral Chain, if you go on YouTube and search up Astral Chain, police station music, bop. No fucking reason for that police station to be the hottest track of 2020? 20? Yeah, let's say that game 2020. What are you going to do? Fact check me? Who cares? Astral Chain, I dropped it. I don't care anymore. I may listen to the soundtrack at some point. I'm going to go ahead and give it it's every other platinum thing without Yokotaro out of 10.
I'm gonna give this. I will never play it out of 10.
Smart move. Smart move.
Cowboy Bebop. Restarted this because I just restarted this from the beginning because I honestly forgot where I was. Look, I still like it.
Mhm.
I'm honestly liking it a little bit less my second time through, but I think part of that is because I literally just watched all these. I think that's part of it, but we'll see. I'm almost at new episodes again, so again next week I will have more fresh and exciting takes on that. But literally, it's just a retread because I've watched the exact same episodes I've seen so far. Episode 5 though still kicks a lot of ass. I like that one a lot.
The rating that I'm gonna give Cowboy Bebop is not Tank, but specifically the version of Tank in the Netflix version where it's slowed down and it feels wrong out of
Oh,
10.
is it slowed down? I didn't notice that. That's funny.
So I don't remember what video it was. I watched someone analyzing why Satoshi Kon's movies would make more sense animated than they would in live action, and it's because in animation you can show faster movements in less frames because the image isn't as busy as it would be in live action.
Got it.
So what I realize is that because you can be faster in animation than you can be in live action, they slowed down the live action intro because if not, it wouldn't look right. So they slowed down the music to match it. Insulting.
Interesting. Yeah, fuck them. I don't like it. So yeah, no
Mhm.
rating yet because I haven't finished it. Do you have anything else for
Got
Weeb?
it. I don't think so because everything else is good.
Okay, so I've got Redline. Redline, shout out. Well, I mean, shout out to Connor, I guess, but fuck you,
No.
Connor.
Yeah, there you go.
You won't listen to this
Right move.
anyways. Fuck it. So basically, I'm not even gonna get into the lore. This is a time strapped episode, anyways, but the lore of this is ridiculous. So I'm not gonna get into the lore. But anyway, suffice to say, we had a bet where I'd
Mhm,
watch this movie. I really didn't
mm.
like anything about this movie. It's very weebish to me. The animation's kind of nice at times, but otherwise I didn't care about anything. There was no memorable music or anything like that. I mean, the best part, like, I don't like racing stuff, but the best part of this was probably the racing stuff. And for an anime that movie that's like about racing, there's maybe like 15-20 minutes of racing in the entire hour and 40 minutes, which I found kind of weird. Uh,
Mm.
otherwise, it's mostly a love story about this guy and this girl.
Oh.
I don't know, man.
Ah.
It was not for me. I didn't like it. I mean, yeah, 1.5 out of 5. I don't have anything else to say. Good, nice animation. That's it. I guess.
Redline, I never want to watch because that one scene of like the engine turning on and it moves really fast and then it stretches the entire image. It looks so obnoxious to me that it's like it doesn't look like you're even showing off. It just kind of looks like we can do this because we can. And of course, we can't forget Jurassic Park. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, or something like that, et cetera, whatever. I'm butchering it anyways, but the entire episode is butchered anyways, as is. No, I'm not gonna insult it. I was gonna throw something that I consider to be in Weep Trial, but it's good, so we'll take it and keep going. What else are we gonna burn?
Akira. No.
Fuck!
We'll save it.
Ugh!
We'll save it. I know.
Cinema!
I,
Ugh!
I had to make the
You
joke.
want to talk about showing off animation?
Uh,
That's how you show
I
off
had to make the joke.
animation.
We'll save it. We'll save it. Anyways, I'm done. That's it. That's all.
Ugh!
That's all for Weeb Trial.
Ugh! Shouldn't have taken those steroids.
uh,
Keep going.
that's it for Weeb Trial. So we're just going into games now.
Yeah, okay, fuck video games. Final Fantasy IV. I've been playing this game for like the last 6 years. I finally finished
Oh, you
it. I
finished it.
finally
Oh
sat down.
shit.
Yeah, I did. It's disgusting. Fuck video games, but I've beaten 4 games this year. What's wrong with me? Someone call the police.
Did you cheat
Um,
for this, by the way? I forget.
oh,
Oh yeah. Okay.
of course. Oh my god, I'm not gonna. Dude, the encounter rate at the very end was just straight up cancer. Okay, you know what I would do? I would move 4 spots. I would hit a random encounter. I would just hit select and auto battle because I was so over leveled that any enemy I fought, I could just beat them to death without using magic. So it's like, oh, okay, perfect. But the good thing is that the boss fights were still fun, even though I was over leveled, because I was like, oh man, I have to strategize a little bit. Let me debuff them. Let me buff myself. Let me use types. Ooh, this is good stuff. But random enemies, I don't fucking care. Just keep swinging the sword. It'd be funny because it'd be normal characters that I had. They'd swing a sword like 3,000 damage. Okay, that's fine. I have my magic users automatically attacking and they're doing like fucking 50 damage. And it's like, whatever, I don't care. Just battle this, finish this game as much as I can. Basically, my
Did you play it
opinion.
on PC, by the way? Sorry.
Oh no,
Oh,
Vita,
Vita. Okay.
Vita.
Sorry.
Oh god, I'm insulted you
No,
would even say
I
that.
just don't know how you cheated then. I guess is there a way to cheat it in Vita? Like, is there like an engine? I didn't know.
Come on,
Okay.
come
Yeah,
on,
fair.
come on. I can figure these things out. All right, this is going to be a rather heavy hacking episode
Yeah.
once we get to that they're Pokemans. But yeah, no. I went in. It was the PSP version of Final Fantasy IV, and that's the thing. The PSP, notoriously, probably right next to the Dreamcast, of the most easily hackable console of
You
all
didn't even
time.
do anything for the
Um,
Dreamcast. You just put a disc in and it fucking worked.
God, do you know about the Pandora battery for the PSP?
Yes, I've heard of it. I have.
Okay, the Pandora battery is such a wonderful thing. You crack open your battery, you cut off one wire, or you move a wire and short it or something, and suddenly it made a PSP completely hackable, like completely vulnerable. And it's one of the craziest things where it's like, how is it that the vulnerability is in the battery? I don't understand how that happens. It's almost like whenever you find out that you could have used a paperclip to hack a switch, it's like, how are people figuring this shit out? It's terrifying. What I was talking about Final Fantasy IV. Fuck. Okay, Final Fantasy IV. Very good game. I think at the end of it, the turn-based just random encounters started really grinding on me, but I think considering that this game was early 90s,
Old.
what, 92,
Yeah.
93? Exactly. The amount of effort that they put into the narrative and the presentation into this game, I know it's the PSP version, but I have to imagine that most of it's really just going to be more pixelated if you go back to the
Yeah,
SNES.
exactly.
But so much of this is way ahead of its time that it's like, wow, this is really impressive. The only problem is that JRPGs and turn-based battles in general have they've grown from needing you to fight literally everything in the next 3 seconds, like that you run into. It took me about 14 or 15 hours. Honestly, this just felt like video game homework. Honestly, this just felt like I should probably play some of these games. I'll probably go to Final Fantasy VI at some point. I have no idea. I think the next thing I play on my Vita is probably going to be Severed because I've been meaning to do that for the longest amount of time. But yeah, Final Fantasy IV, good. I will probably never think about it again besides needing to tell people, yeah, I played that.
Yeah, that's fair. It's been a long time since I played Final Fantasy IV. Like it would have been when I was a kid, literally, because I had it for SNES.
Final Fantasy 2 for you.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 2. I had it for the SNES at the time. And yeah, I'm
Oh,
pretty
you're a
sure.
SNES person.
What's that?
You're a SNES person.
I do it to be annoying. I actually think SNES is the correct way to do it, but I know SNES annoys people, and I don't know. It just sounds like it's like fucking lolly, fuck lolly with snoy. How they do the snoy thing. I think it's such a disgusting sounding word. I kind of like saying it. So SNES. I don't know. There's just something gross
I
about
want you to know that that is the most you thing ever to specifically say SNES to annoy people. That's wonderful. That's
it.
art.
I know, but yeah, I had it on the old SNES. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I beat it, but God, fuck if I remember literally two things about it. So I mean, I remember enjoying it. It was kind of, a gateway into JRPGs for me, which I kind of am really hit and miss with now. But more
To
starting
be
to like
fair,
them
well,
again.
that's probably a bad kind of thing to be gatewayed into.
Yeah, no doubt. So I mean, at least that one, isn't overly horny though, and it's just some classic,
It
good old Final Fantasy action.
it takes itself so seriously, and it's
It
like
does.
I really
It
appreciate that.
does. It does. So I appreciate that too for
Okay.
sure.
Final Fantasy 4 is gonna be a homework assignment that you don't exactly hate, but by the time that you're done with the project, you just really don't want to look anyone in the eye again after out of 10.
Yeah, it's some good old retro shit out of 10 for me. So I enjoyed
Mm,
that game.
mm.
Or from what I
Good
remember
games.
of it.
Go continue.
Deathloop. Look, I don't have much to say about
Oh
this because
God.
I dropped it, but let's talk a little bit about it, I guess.
Woo!
Um, Look, here's the thing about Deathloop. First of all, the game itself is gorgeous. Like it looks amazing. It's technically great. Playing that game, like it'd been a while since played something like that actually used the dual sense properly, like with the haptics and the adaptive triggers and everything like that. And it felt really good on that. Like everything was really crunchy. It felt good to play, and I like that. My issue is, look, I don't like games that are designed a certain way. So the story was
Mhm,
intriguing to me
mhm.
and it was like, "Oh, this is interesting," but it wasn't enough of a hook to make me just kind of overlook all the other things. And the thing with the gameplay in that game is, first of all, it feels like Dishonored, and I didn't like Dishonored to begin with, so that was a knock against it. But then on top of
Mm.
that, you kind of have this thing where you have to kill these six people in one day, in one loop, as they call it, one day basically. And it basically, you have to go to certain parts of the day and certain parts of the time because they'll only be there at those times and kill them at those times. And then you advance to the next part of the day where another person might be. And they all have the same schedules, but you have to kind of map it out and plan it and kind of figure out everyone's patterns. And I'm just not for that, honestly. I don't know, maybe that's just me being lazy and wanting to move on to other things. But if it's open world, it's open world. If it's linear, it's linear. But I don't want to go around and have to plot out and figure out when everyone's going to be at a certain spot to try and murder this person at this time and have to like redo these loops over and over again to figure this shit out. Just not for me. And so I kind of felt like there was a bit of a tutorial at first, then just kind of throws you right into the deep end, and uh, I just didn't care enough to keep going. So it's not an overly long game, but I was like, look, I'm already don't like games anyways, so I have no desire to finish this, and I don't think I ever will. If the gameplay maybe felt better like to play and I enjoyed it and it was fun, then maybe I'd put up with that other shit. But because I don't like Dishonored and Arcane in general, except for Prey, I don't think it was ever going to click for me. So it was an easy drop.
All right, now Deathloop. I don't exactly want my handheld that much. That's going to be something that I bring up later. Deathloop sounds like it may be something I like, but the things that stop me is that Arcane has not spoken to me in since now that we're in our Lord's 2020 in a decade. And that was with Dishonored 1. They have not said a word to me since. And especially since Phil Spencer has specifically given them instructions to never speak to me again, I feel like Deathloop might even be more of a miss. However, there's something that I found, well, something that was relayed to me eventually, that Deathloop isn't as freeing at some point as you would think. And that alone has me thinking I'm probably never going to get to you. It's going to go through the $10 spot. Now, here's the thing, there have been a couple of games like Dreams where it gets to the $10 spot, and I realize, wow, even at $10, I still don't care. And basically, what the $10 spot is, I look at it, I see it for sale for $10, and then I think, even at $10, do I want to do this? And if I even have a moment of hesitation, it's gone. It's fleeting. It's gone. That's what happened with Cyberpunk too. I saw it at $10 and I went, I still don't care even at this price. So I'm just probably going to let it go. So Deathloop, you're on notice. You hit $10 probably in the next couple of weeks. Honestly, you've been $25 pretty often. So get to $10. We'll reevaluate from there. And then if you are a miss, Arcane, you're fucking dead to me, okay? I know about a PC. You're dead to me still.
Yeah, there's a chance you'll like this more, but yeah, judging off your recent history of Arcane, I'm gonna guess no. Like, no,
But it
I don't think it'll hit overall for you. And to be fair, like, look, so first of all, I don't want the game to hold my hand either. I don't need that. It just I don't particularly like having to spend a lot of time kind of redoing the same thing over and over again to figure something out. I don't find that fun. But beyond that, you can actually like there are like I think it's like Hitman in the way in a sense that you can play a totally butchered down version of it where you just kind of like click on things and it'll kind of point you to where you need to go. But that's I don't know even less fun to me. So yeah.
okay, two things. One, you love Returnal.
Yeah, Returnal had
Two,
the Prometheus sci-fi cheat code though, and that I don't know
there you go.
that was more like okay, but fair, you're right, but that felt fun to play. Like I enjoyed
There you go.
playing that. Deathloop, yeah, I did not enjoy playing that because it just felt like Dishonored to me. Which maybe you'll like that more. 'Cause you like Dishonored, but
Exactly, that's the thing. That's what has me wondering about it because it probably cuts closer to Dishonored than it does Prey, and we disagree on both of those games. All right, now the second thing is, I feel like I already forgot the second thing. Crap.
Hitman.
Oh yes, Hitman. Hitman. You know how you were talking about how you don't like playing the same thing and then restarting over? That is how I play Hitman. I play Hitman
Well,
perfect stealth, and you know why? Because as soon as I screw up, reset. We're not
no,
doing this shit
no,
again.
I do that too, but I guess I'm a hypocrite. But for Hitman, I just have to put myself in the mind of an assassin. I'm like, okay, like, like I actually gotta do this like super stealth and try hard mode. So again, though, I think it comes down to me really enjoying the gameplay of it. Like I really enjoy the gameplay of Hitman, and that's what it's focused to me. Whereas for something like Deathloop, I was definitely playing that more for the narrative, not for the gameplay.
I'm sorry, I just have to imagine that, like, when you said I have to play it like a Hitman, my brain was like, "Okay, we're gonna play it like a Hitman, but you have the remote from Click, from Adam Sandler's Click, and basically any single time that you get caught, it's like, ah, shit, reverse."
Yeah, basically, exactly that.
Alright, so Deathloop is gonna be, it's gonna be a Phil Spencer, attempting to shoot you out of 10. I don't know what that means, it just feels right.
Yeah, so I'm not going to score it. It's a drop out of 10. That's it.
All right. Because we already brought it up, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Hitman. It's been like, okay, it came out in 2016. Let's say that I bought Hitman 1 in like 2017, right? It's been 5 years of me having Hitman 1 in one form or the other, and finally I played 2 missions of it, and not just the tutorial, like, I've done, like, fucking 3 or 4 times because I just keep redoing it to relearn what I'm doing. I finally played Sapienza, I finally played Paris. The game is good. Game good. My brain like it when I grab fire hydrant and I knock people out. I like choking people and I like wearing their clothes. I kind of wish I could cut their faces off and wear it too for extra immersion. Um, I, oh my god, what I love more than about Hitman than anything else is the fact that I can basically create my own little stories out of it. And for a game that's really, it doesn't feel like a game like this would be as open as it is. I feel like it's really deceptive about that. And I like that I can just talk about Hitman and all of it sounds like, how does that translate into a video game? For example, like, being able to, like, in Paris, what I did is that the guard, right? I grabbed the guard, like the guy who was specifically guarding my target. I grabbed him and I choked him out and I dressed up as him. And I realized I had his cell phone and I was like, I have no idea what this does. I'm gonna go ahead and call it in. Hitman goes, we got a code 47, secure the package, secure the package. And this was like 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes into my first run or so, right? And then when I realized that it sent people over, I was like, ooh, that's some good information. I'll see what I can do with that. And then, like, an hour and a half later, after I had already killed one target, I was like, ooh, if I take him out, I can see where that other person is. So I do that. I go into the room. I'm dressed up as him. Everyone vacates the room. I grab my target, choke her out, snap her neck, run out. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know how I did this, but this is awesome. The game didn't really tell me what to do. I just went in, did my stuff, figured it out, and then dipped. In Sapienza, what I did is that, oh my god, what was it? I broke into just a room and I was like, "Oh man, what is this room? Oh man, look, it looks like this is a romance suite. What's going on here?" I picked up a letter and then the game goes, "Oh, it seems that your target is having an affair." And I was like, "Oh, okay, let's see what I can do with that." I walk out and this is something where I'm thinking maybe I should probably turn off a couple of UI elements because when I walked out, it pointed me directly to where the what's called the golf instructor was, and I was like, "Ooh, I kind of wish I could have wandered around and seen if I can find him." But that was literally the only time the game it felt like it intruded on me being able to figure it out. So I'll forgive it. I go take the golf course, take the golf course, take the golf instructor out. Oh wait, no, no. What do I do? No, no, no. I wait and I see that he takes a drink. So I go over to the drink, I poison it. He goes to throw up in the bathroom. I knock him out. I dress up as him. I go and sit down. She thinks that I'm him and starts speaking to me. Problem is, I knocked out the golf instructor and someone can look into the window and see that the body's there. I was like, well, that's a reset. So I reset. I went back. I went into the bathroom and I dragged the man into a cabinet. The funny thing is that I took too long doing that because then the woman walked in. Now, here's the thing, the woman was looking into a dark corner. She couldn't tell anyone was there. And while maybe some people will go, oh man, maybe that's not a good sign in a video game, I, on the other hand, think that's fucking hilarious that the corner is so dark and she's talking there and she has no idea. So what do? In the middle of talking, go over, choke her out, snap her neck. It's this kind of shit in Hitman where I'm like, oh my god, this is just so much fun.
Yeah, it's a blast, man. Like, I'm so glad you're finally getting to experience Hitman, and you as a gameplay person, I knew would really appreciate that. Um,
Stealth
the
too. I
stealth, yeah,
love my
this you're a
stealth.
stealth fan too, so like, I mean, it's pure stealth at its finest at points there, and it doesn't. The game lets you create and explore as you want, and like if you want to play it a totally butchered, watered down version with like objective markers and everything like that, you can do that. I don't know why you would want to, but you can do that. But if you just want to explore and basically take a full on silent assassin and stealth and do everything you want, like you're free to do that. And I think it's so cool. And it's funny you mentioned earlier about how the game's like deceptively big. And you're totally right, it is. And I still remember like the first time playing Sapienza, which is my favorite level in the entire series. I love that level so much. And just like kind of layer, like discovering piece by piece, it feels like a fucking Bond movie. Like when you get to the end of the level
Yes.
and you just discover the fucking secret layer. It's so cool. And it's just like, wow,
Oh,
this is
dude, you had the musical stings too. Whenever you
yes.
get a kill, it's like,
It's so great. And yeah, there's just something about Hitman that kind of just, spikes your adrenaline a bit. And they're such fun games. And they're just, like, that's the thing about them though, too. And I understand there was debates about the episodic model when it comes out. And I understand people didn't like it and they ditched it. So obviously it
Mm,
didn't do well for them. But I actually played Hitman 1 episodically, and I appreciated it because there's so much to fucking do in each level. You
yes.
could literally spend weeks on one level just trying to get all the challenges and figure all the different ways to kill them because they put so many creative ways into killing these people for you to discover. And it just feels like a shame if you're just going through it one time and just kind of doing only one way, one kill, and moving on to the next level. Like, it's not the best way to play Hitman, in my opinion.
About that, that's how I'm playing all three, baby.
Oh, of course you
Because
are.
if not, I can't. Oh my god, I know it's the wrong way because that's how I played the tutorial. I did everything in the tutorial. I was like, fuck, that's cool. Problem is, though, do you know how much I'm drowning underneath? Do
Oh,
you
I know.
know how many other
I
video
know.
games are there? Do you know how many fucking
Yeah,
movies
there's
I watched?
so much things to do in so little time. So I totally get that now, but it is a shame because there's just so much thought and creativity put into each level. Except Colorado. Fuck Colorado.
There it is the 27th that we were recording this. I told myself that I wanted to watch 1 movie a day for this entire month. Actually, I told myself for an entire year, but, like, halfway through the month, I was like, "Okay, this is becoming a lot. I should probably stop this and just say it's a month instead now." Um, Even though I've been doing a movie a day, slightly more positive than a movie a day, I'm pretty sure my watch list has grown this month. So, there's nothing I can do. There's something. I'm so sorry, Hitman. Honestly, episodic would have worked, but also I'm in a catch 22 here because if you're episodic, I'm not going to buy digitally. If you're coming out entirely, I'm not going to do everything. And then I drown myself even further by putting all three games into one package. So I'm kind of fucked here. Hitman, I'm sorry. I'm going to go in. I'm going to be pure stealth the entire time. I'm going to dip. I have to go to the next one. I'm sorry, Hitman. Maybe one day if I somehow become a billionaire and I can just do whatever I want, maybe I'll go back to it. Probably not. I'll just watch a whole bunch of movies instead.
That's fair. Well, I'm just glad you're enjoying it. So I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on the rest of the levels as you get to them.
Hitman is gonna be you couldn't have chosen a better team to make a Bond game out of 10.
No doubt on that. Hitman One's a banger. I think I give it a 7.5 out of 10, something like that. Really enjoyable game.
Okay, this is not even going to get a timestamp. I'm just going to throw it in here. Voice of Cards is on the list again. I don't remember what I did here. Yoko Taro was good writing. That's it. Just moving on now.
Cool.
You can take it again.
Let's talk about The Last Guardian. So this is a long time in the making for me. I actually bought this game at launch in 2016. And I did play it a bit at
Same.
launch, but this was back when I was terrible for finishing games. I played it for a couple hours. I really enjoyed what I played of it, and I just never got back to it. So finally got back to it. After I dropped Deathloop, I was like, hey, I went into the Last Stand Media Discord. Shout out to Colin and all the ponies over there. I went in there and I was like,
tears, just tears.
tears, yeah, nothing but tears now. I went in there and I was like, hey, what game? Like, I don't know what to play now. And one of the guys in there, who's one of the biggest ponies of all, Bobby, who will never listen to this podcast, so good for you, man. He
Wonderful, good move.
he said play Last Guardian because he just finished it. He's like, and I was like, you know what? Why not? I've been wanting to play that for a while. It's a good choice. So picked it up, played it, and I just finished it a couple days ago. Look, honestly, great game, really good game. I gotta say, Trico, Bird Dog, my man. Oh boy, I love you to death by the end of this, but fuck, you're an annoying piece of shit sometimes. But I still love you. It's fine. Great though. I love the bond you form with him throughout the game. It's obviously the highlight of it, and they make him. I mean, I don't know. I would love to know if these controls are annoying on purpose sometimes, just to make you feel like an annoying dog that doesn't listen to you some goddamn times. Because there were times when I just want to take my controller and chuck it at the wall because he would not fucking do what I wanted him to do. But when he finally does do what you want him to do, and he starts jumping around from place to place, you're like, oh, good dog, and you give him some pets, and everything's fine. So that's great. Music is great. Like it's interesting. It's a very silent game a lot of the times, and it feels appropriately so. But then when you get to like kind of the moment, you'll get that classical kind of orchestra like kick in there, and it's fucking great. I love it, and it just feels appropriate for the world. And I mean, these are the same guys that made Shadow of the Colossus too, so obviously that's kind of their thing. Which I'm going to go back and play that soon too, and give that a second shot. But yeah,
Have you played Eco?
I've never played Eco. No, so yeah, Eco's one.
Okay, if you vibed with this, then you have a chance of liking Eco.
Yeah, is it playable on PS4 at all or no?
What do you think? It's Sony.
No, okay, of course not. No, stupid. Stupid question.
I cry.
Stupid question. Thanks, Jim. Moving on, because I could bitch about Jim all night. Jim. Yeah, honestly though, this was just great. Just a great complete story throughout the entire thing. I felt very satisfied by the end of it. It just felt like, there's not a ton of story in it, but the little lore bits they give you and the kind of chunks they kind of get to by the end of it, and you kind of, just you make your escape out of this pit you're stuck in and everything like that. It's just very warm and well done, and it's hard to hate this game. So really cool experience. It's the only thing I'd say about it is for me, it was slightly hampered at times by the controls and just the camera in general, which gets fucking crazy sometimes, and that's where I had my biggest complaints and issues with the game. But otherwise, I really like this.
All right, now Team Eco. These guys just speak to me. I like Eco. I love Shadow of the Colossus. The Last Guardian is not a game that I could ever recommend without asking a couple of questions. I don't think it's that good to be able to just be like, yes, everyone should play this. I personally just usually ask, how much did you love Shadow of the Colossus? If the answer isn't yes, and that's the thing, I specifically said love Shadow of the Colossus. If the answer isn't yes, I don't know about The Last Guardian, right? So I really enjoy The Last Guardian very much, but in my list, I have my favorites, I have honorable mentions, and then I have games I love I can never recommend. There's literally only two games there: the original Nier and The Last Guardian. And the thing is that this game for like 2/3 was like really trying my patience. I was like, I'm enjoying so much of this, but a lot of it is also just kind of fighting Trico. But once you get to like the last third and you have that one cutscene give you just this little spark of life, I was like, oh, I realize I care now. Damn it, Fumito Ueda, you did it again. You tricked me into caring about something with barely any words. Good job, sir. And I just kept playing it, and by the time we got to the end, I was actually worried about what would happen to these characters, and that's honestly always a good sign. I actually bought this one. I bought the special edition for this game. I'm pretty sure in my attic I still have the special edition along with the little disc that has Trico and the kid sitting on top of his head. I really like this game, but at the end of the day, it's always like I think I love this game more than the actual quality that's there.
Yeah, that's fair. But shout out, by the way, to one of that collector's edition. I want that steelbook really bad now, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for it. I got a thing for white steelbooks in general, like just the clean white looking ones like that, and it's a beauty. And I like the game too, so definitely on my list now. But yeah, no, I agree with all that. I think it's interesting. I think there's a lot of things about that world that I really liked. I was so sure to. I mean, minor spoilers, I guess. 2016, minor spoilers. But I was, well, I mean, they're spoilers, but anyways, I was so sure he was going to bite it by the end of the movie, by the game, and I'm glad they didn't go that route. But I was so sure. I was like just waiting for it. I was like, you guys are going to fucking tear my heart out, aren't you? And they never did, so that was cool.
Skip forward 10 seconds. Now, whenever the tail flew off, I was
Oh,
hollering.
yeah.
I was in fear.
Mm,
I was like, you cannot do this. You cannot do this. And okay, that was 10 seconds. Yeah, I agree. What I can say is I agree.
yeah. The ending was great though, really well done, and yeah, like I said, well, that's the interesting thing, though. Like what you said is that if you don't love Shadow of the Colossus, I can't recommend this for you. I never loved Shadow of the Colossus, but I really like this, so I am definitely going to go back to it. I got the remake, the physical copy of it, so I'm going to go back to it at some point pretty soon here because I feel like I owe that one a second chance and see for sure.
I think Eco though is usually the better barometer. Shadow of the Colossus is very quiet and then has huge bumps. Eco on the other hand is usually pretty chill, and that's honestly more in line with the Last Guardian.
Makes sense. Yeah, you go ahead
Um,
check out at some point then too.
mhm. All right, The Last Guardian. Honestly, that was pretty much my score. I love this game, but can't recommend it out of 10.
It's a 7.5 out of 10 for me.
What do I have any other video games? Okay, so I already got rid of that. I got rid of that. You know what? I'm going to just bundle the next two games because honestly, who cares?
Sure.
Um, Habroxia. I didn't really know what to do when I was ready to go to sleep, and I was like, I'm not ready to go to sleep. So I had the PS5 in the bedroom, and honestly, the problem is that I'm lazy and have more money than I should because honestly, just moving the PS5 from the theater room to the bedroom, I just looked at my wife and I was like, should I buy a second PS5? And she just death glared me, and I was like, yeah, that's probably the right move. So I'm playing Habroxia in bed. I'm playing it on the PS4 because I'm like, well, I should probably get the platinums for these. I have it on Vita already. PS5, I guess I should. So basically, I would just play it for like 10 minutes before I would go to sleep. I would play until I died, and I was like, okay, that's fine. It's still a fun game. I don't know. Go look at whatever I said in the previous episodes. It's a fun arcade shooter. It's not gonna change your life, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, I own these games.
Oh wait,
Oh,
oh, no, go ahead, go ahead. I forgot for a second that I said I was gonna
oh
bundle
no,
two
but,
movies
but look,
anyways, but no, get your
all I
input.
was gonna say is that I own this game. I played a little bit of it. I sucked. I'll have to try it again at some point. Probably like I'd say I bought it on PS4. I should have bought it on Vita, but it is what it is. So yeah,
But your hands don't like the Vita,
that's
so
true.
like,
That's true. That's true.
The other game is Overcooked. Mainly the reason is that screw it. This is gonna be the I moved the PS5 out of the theater room, so I'm playing different things now. Overcooked. I've been playing this game with my wife since 2016. Do you see a common theme about a lot of these games? It's picking up stuff that I haven't touched in years. My wife and I, we were playing Overcooked for a while. I made her own account, and we have both trophies that are matching, showing that we were playing this together. She got screwed over because when we finished the game with 3 stars on each level, it didn't pop for her. It only popped for me. And there's no chance that we ever go back to get it for her because fuck that. We're probably going to kill each other if we ever try to play that game again. Overcooked has been a fun time. It is right next to building IKEA furniture together of how to test out your marriage and or relationships. Overcooked is incredible. Anyone who knows how to press a button can play this game. Although you'll probably need a bit more from that, or else you will have to bury them in the backyard.
Well, it's funny. So I actually played Overcook with a friend, and they're an ex-friend
Mm,
now.
mm.
Not
Oh,
because of
oh,
Overcooked, though. I swear to God,
boo,
it's not.
boo! We know you murdered
It's
them.
not because of Overcooked. I swear to God.
I doubt it.
But yeah, that game's a frustrating game, and it definitely makes you rage at times at the person you're playing with. So it's a 10 out of 10. I do recommend it. A lot of fun.
All right. Yeah, those are my games. Off to you now.
All right, this is my last game. It's Cuphead. Cuphead. So this was another like, okay, I dropped this game ages ago. Let's pick it back up. But this was completely different circumstances from the Last Guardian. Last Guardian, I just was bad at finishing games. Cuphead, I dropped it because I would have smashed something if I didn't. Like broken it into three because this is such a frustrating game at times. And I don't know, something about Returnal scratched an itch for me earlier last year, obviously now, and it made me want to play,
Disgusting.
more of these games like this. And so I was like, why not Cuphead? Why not go back to this? I love the animation style in this. It's one of the prettiest looking games I've ever seen. I think it sounds great. It's so cool. I don't want to have this hanging over me. I actually want to beat this fucking game. So I spent a few days and I beat it. I finally did it. So good to go back and do
Mm.
that. I love this game. This game is absolutely fantastic. I loved it even when I hated it. Like I always said, like I hate this game. I uninstalled it. I stopped playing it, but it's such a goddamn good game. It's not the game. It's me. And yeah, sure enough. And I mean, the funny thing is that the boss that I had been stuck on was so long. This clown fuck. I ended up beating him pretty quick. He wasn't that bad. And then I fucking found I think the next boss or the boss after that I fight is this dragon fuck. That's like the hardest boss in the game, and I was stuck on him for like 3 goddamn hours. So I couldn't even imagine getting stuck on him back then. But yeah, I mean, it's just an amazing game. It's so much fun to play. It's just there's just I could gush about this game for hours. It's amazing. There's DLC coming, so I don't have to wait 10 years like everyone else did. I'll get to play this soon. I'm going to buy that DLC because I think the game is great, and I got to support the Canadian studio.
I laughed because I forgot for a second that the DLC has a date on it. I was thinking of whenever I finished Shadow of the Colossus for the first time, like in 2012 on the PS3. I was like, oh man, that's so good. Now, whenever The Last Guardian comes out, I'm going to be waiting way less time than everyone else. And then the game comes out in 2016. I was like, I really should have taken off this clown makeup a little earlier than everyone else. So, Cuphead. I played this during the dark period that I had an Xbox, and I played that game with a D-pad. And now here's the thing: I don't believe for 1 second that Phil Spencer has ever created a single D-pad that's been good at all. I hate them on every single one of those controllers. So I think at some point I got to the third boss, and I was like, I don't like playing this game on this. I don't. And so I stopped. And then I think I yo-hoed it for a second on Switch to see how it was. And I was like, ooh, this feels good on the Pro Controller. But then I think that was around the same time that I had Hollow Knight. And I was like, yeah, but if I want to, smash my nuts in between 2 walls, I think I'm going to do Hollow Knight instead. So then I dropped it. However, now the fact that I need proof to show that I'm an epic god gamer status beyond Doom, I'm thinking since Doom was last year, 2023, maybe 2024, I'll go ahead and play Cuphead. So that'll be my next way of, being like, you see, I still got it.
That's fair. I actually really like, well, just,
My
yeah,
psychosis.
your psychosis. Going back to the start of that, I really like the D-pad for the new Xbox controller. I know you don't like it still too, but
Ugh,
I will say
fucking hate myself.
the original one controller's D-pad was garbage. I think it was horrible. I had a 1S controller too at the time. The thing was shit. But yeah, I didn't actually, I think, use the D-pad while I was playing Cuphead at all. I think I just used the stick.
Oh, I can't do.
So.
Dude, I can't do it. Any single time that there's a 2D game, like I use the D-pad. Like that is what I do. So, like playing honestly, I am so a nincel and a pony that playing a 2D game on Xbox felt unnatural. It was like this doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm going against my core programming playing this here.
Yeah, well, look, whenever you pick this game back up, make sure you stream it because that'll be a fun watch for sure.
That actually isn't a bad idea.
Yeah, that was a good watch. I actually wanted to stream it badly, but on the Xbox, it's a bit more of a pain in the ass to get everything set up and stream than the PS. So I was like, I don't want to do it. But that's a good streaming game because man, oh man, there were some moments where you just want to punch a wall. Especially the worst thing is
You
too,
hear
because the worst thing about it is it shows you how close you are to beating the boss, and
yes.
I swear it fucks with you on purpose. Like it's like, oh, let's put him at the real very fucking end where he's like an inch away from that flag, and then kill him. He's like, you fucks.
I just want to go back to something you said. You heard it here first, folks. Xbox just makes it more difficult to do shit in general.
Oh yeah, fuck Xbox.
Listen,
We're very pony on this show.
there's a lot of salt right now because of Activision, but this isn't a news episode. This isn't a news podcast, okay? So we'll just throw more shots, but whatever, who cares? Cuphead, very good. I'll get back to it at some point. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a racist animation out of 10.
It was an 8.5 out of 10 for me. Really like that game a lot. So
Is that it?
fuck games.
That's all. Oh wait,
Oh,
hold on. I got my last one.
okay.
I have my last one. Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yes. You see, so Ed's a journalist now. You got an early copy of it, right, Ed?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a copy and it's definitely early. That I guess if we want to go by definitions, yeah. What am I on trial? Shut up. I need a lawyer. Um okay. Pokemon Legends Arceus. This was a spite tryout. This was more than anything else me playing this to see, okay, yes, the game looks like shit graphically, but I really think that I'm swinging hard into gameplay right now than narrative. So even though it looks like shit, my question was, is this a good game? I'm 4 hours in, and I don't know if I can answer that question yet. All I know so far is that this game is scratching my brain more than it should. And I think more than anything else, because my expectations were rock bottom, I'm impressed with this game more that it isn't rock bottom. It isn't just kind of, okay, this is fine. It's actually getting close to me thinking, is this good or not? Not even a question of, is it just a piece of shit? It's actually even probably getting close to, am I going to buy this game? I don't know. All I know is that this game is scratching pieces of my brain that hasn't been scratched probably since Metal Gear Solid V. And I was holding on to this. I've been messaging you, and I did not want to throw this one out. But catching Pokemon in this game is scratching the same part of my brain that stealing everything with the Fulton system in Metal Gear Solid V gave me. I don't understand how is it that I spend so much time fucking around in this game, because if I see a little fucking radish on the ground, I can either go and pick it up like in every other fucking open world game, or I can throw my Pokemon to grab it for me. Oh, there's a tree that has fruits in it. I'm gonna throw my Cyndaquil to go grab it for me. Oh, look, there's a Pokemon over there. I'm just going to capture him. So much of this game is, that's the thing. I don't even think the resource gathering is supposed to be something that you pay that much attention to, but it is scratching that part of my brain where it's like, if it's not bolted down, I can steal it. And I the main line part of this game is gonna be the determining factor. I've told myself I have 5 hours to play with this game. All right. I'm going to play for 5 hours. And if I, at the end of those 5 hours, still want to keep playing, I'll buy it. But if I get to those 5 hours and there's even a minor hesitation about if I want to keep playing it, I'm gonna delete it. If I've given you 5 hours and I still can't decide whether I want to play this, I've given you more than enough time. This game, though, a lot of it feels like it has so many good ideas. Like being able to go into a Pokemon world and see the Pokemon walking around is something I didn't think I was going to care about. But being able to see the Pokemon walking around, I can crouch down and I guess I guess fucking Game Freak learned what game design was, at least from a couple of people from the last decade, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's an inch high piece of grass. We can hide in there." But the thing is that I'm hunting Pokemon, so I'm not gonna lambast it for me hiding in the grass. Hide me in the grass. I want to catch that Cyndaquil over there, okay? Hide me so I can capture him. Now, another thing I realized with this game is that you can resource gather pretty far depending on how far you throw the Pokeball. So it's like, oh, I'm at top of this cliff, but there's a shiny rock down there. I'm just gonna throw my Pokemon down there. He's gonna grab it for me. This is cool. But the problem is that this game has so many good little things, but overall, I'm still not figuring out. But why am I doing this? Most games you have the gym where, okay, go to the gyms, beat the Elite Four. That's it. It's the same fucking thing for the last 2 decades, and well, it works. There's always a new child born that doesn't know that that's what happens in the Elite Four. Okay, but I've played 2 Pokemon games before. I kind of know this shit. The thing is that Arceus, it replaces the gyms for the Pokédex. And here's the thing, there's something smart about Arceus. It replaces the gyms with the Pokédex. So your goal isn't to become the best and that no everyone was, etc., etc. Your goal is to build out the Pokédex. And that actually works because it incentivizes you to keep capturing every Pokemon you get. It doesn't matter that you have multiples. All of it is meaningful for the Pokédex. And it's so weird where they have so many smart things like that where it's like, "Oh, that's really good game design. That is good feedback to what you should be doing in this game." But then there's other things like the straight up mainline quest feels like it is holding your hand throughout all of it when they've literally created this entire world where it feels like you should be going to do whatever you want. Mm, I know. Look, cover your ears because I know this was going to hurt you. Breath of the Wild. There we go. We said the name. The game, even though from the offset it looked like it's Breath of the Pokemon, it's not because it feel okay, here's the thing. It feels so surface level Breath of the Wild. The honestly, if this game was made in the Breath of the Wild engine, I'd believe it. But that's the thing. It feels like it's only the menus and I guess the world that feel Breath of the Wild, but it feels like this game fundamentally misunderstands what made Breath of the Wild special because of the main quest. This is a weird duckling and I don't know what to do with it. All I know is that in the next hour, I will mainline this game. I will keep going, and if the mainline keeps holding my hand tightly as it's been doing for the last 4 hours, I'm gonna drop this game. If you like Pokemon, you'll like this game. If you don't like Pokemon, this will not change your mind. Nothing in this game will change your mind about your opinion on Pokemon. But at the end of the day, I feel like the fact that it seems like there was more effort put in than what other mainline Pokemon games had, I feel that more than anything else, I feel like I have to commend.
Oh, I got so many things I want to say, but
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Start shit talking.
all right. Number one, Pokemon hasn't been good since Gen 1. Let's get that straight.
No, no. Look.
Let's
Pokemon is never good unless you're the right age.
let's start this conversation off right. Pokemon has not been good since Pokemon Fire Red and Fire Blue. That's number one. All right.
You're not 10 anymore, damn it.
Number two, I wish I was. Number two,
We all do.
yeah. Number two, fuck Breath of the Wild. But that's a conversation for another day. All right. Number three.
Don't worry, we'll start it soon.
We'll start it very soon. Number three. Um, you've talked a lot about this game in the Discord and just in general, and literally the only thing that's given me any sort of slight interest was when I could found out that Psyduck apparently can chase you, and I was like, oh, that actually sounds interesting for about 2 seconds because God bless Psyduck, he's the best Pokemon out there. But yeah, in reality, I have less than zero interest in this still. I mean,
Yeah.
at least like you've taken a game I already don't like in Breath of the Wild, and you've somehow done it worse. I mean, what? How am I gonna?
Oh,
Fucking
come
like
on,
that?
come on. To be fair, you don't like Breath of the Wild for lack of direction. You might actually like this one because it feels like it just keeps giving you direction.
Ugh. I don't know. But the idea to me that there's no even overarching story and you're just basically doing a bunch of fucking little fetch
No, there
quests.
is.
All right, there is. Okay, well that's fair.
No, that's what's annoying me.
Yeah, I mean, well that actually does sound more appealing, but I'm still not going to buy it.
Oh yeah, no, no, no. I would never tell you to buy this unless I could figure out a way to send you a copy that mods every Pokemon for just Psyducks.
Yeah, if that was a thing, I'm fucking all for that. That would be fantastic. So I'm definitely in on that. But
It's funny. It was actually a couple of hours ago that I encountered the first Psyduck, and I was like, "Oh my god, I need to capture this." And then I go over the cliff that I was walking through, and I saw two more Psyducks. I was like, "Oh my god, I found a Psyduck enclave. I'm capturing all you fuckers."
I'm actually glad to hear he's in the game because like he's been ignored a lot in recent Pokemon games, and I'm assuming it's the same thing as other Pokemon games where it's like half a fucking roster of them. So I'm glad he made the cut this time.
Oh, I completely forgot to mention this. The other thing about this game is that whenever you fight Pokemon, it's still completely turn based. Like, once you get
Yeah,
into a combat segment, it's no different than any other game.
that does feel weird in
And
that style of game.
yeah, I mean, like, I forgot that you can dodge. So I would be running and you have a cooldown for your run. So I would run, dodge roll, and then keep running. And I was like, oh my God, there's actual movement that I enjoy. So that was actually really nice. And you have more movement as a 10-year-old child than a fucking monster that shoots flames out of its mouth. It's like, why is this like this? Honestly, like, there is Pokken. Pokken is right there. There's already a Pokemon fighting game. Just figure out how to take that and throw it in here. It feels so much like this game has one step forward in, like, yeah, we're gonna change shit, and then the other foot's like, yeah, but we haven't changed shit in so long, and our financials look really good because of it. Like, that's what this game feels
Yeah, and
like,
they're
and
just gonna revert back to the old formula too. So it literally doesn't matter.
yeah, but like, Arceus, I'm gonna give it a I never fucking expected I would care out of 10.
Psyduck out of 10. Well, no, it's too good. Never mind.
Yeah, that's too good.
We'll give it a gold duck out of 10.
Yeah, Golduck's kind of ugly.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, that's all for video games.
Yeah, fuck games.
Let's go ahead and slaughter a whole bunch of Oh wait, no, hold on. Do you have another game?
No, no, I said fuck games. No, we're good.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, fuck video
Yeah.
games. Now we need to slaughter a whole bunch of movies.
Slaughter away. Where are we starting? You want me to go?
Okay, I'll go ahead. Okay, rapid fire back and forth.
Sure. So are these just ones we don't like give a shit much of shit about? Is that what we're doing now?
I know if even if we talk about 3 movies, that's gonna take us a slightly over 2 hours. I know it.
Okay.
So,
Fair enough.
I'm gonna go ahead and start. First Blood. I watched First Blood. This is very good. Rambo, obviously no, sorry, Rambo. Arnold. Sylvester Stallone is a better actor than Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't think that was ever a question. This is a very good movie. I lost my fucking mind about the 4K disc because the 4K disc is literally the same quality as the Blu-ray disc. It might have more detail, but the colors in HDR are so screwed up that there is no reason for me to ever watch the 4K disc. This isn't staying in the collection, but I felt like I should mention that. Also, everyone who says that this disc is good, I don't understand. I don't understand. Maybe different setup. But like, yeah, First Blood, very good movie.
Cool. Let's talk about The Apartment. This is some 60s.
Oh, you don't want to give a rating or anything?
Oh, right. Fuck, I'm the one that forgot the rating this time.
Eh,
Rambo First Blood, great movie. What do I have? That's like a 3.5, 4 out of 5. Love that movie. Classic action movie.
I'm gonna give it a they did blood first, not me out of 10.
Also, I didn't even. Fuck! I just skipped right over Rambo. I don't know where my head's at. Great movie, by the way. Classic action movie. I love Sylvester Stallone too. I missed my chance, so fuck it. But yeah, good movie.
Oh, hold on, shit. One thing I also want to mention. God, this is gonna go terrible. First Blood is weird because, like, you can definitely tell that it feels like it wants to handle itself seriously, but the way that the movie handles action, it also doesn't become so jarring that this very grounded movie about a man who has PTSD eventually becomes First Blood Part 2, where this man is just mowing fuckers down by the fucking truckload.
God, if you ever happen to watch some of these newer Rambo movies, like I actually still think they're kind of fun, but good lord, it gets pretty
I want to
ridiculous.
see whenever they give a shout out to the Mujahideen. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, next,
All
kill these.
right, The Apartment, 60s Kino, really good stuff here. I enjoyed it. This is a 1960 movie from a director I don't remember right now, but he's done a bunch of stuff. Some Like It Hot, some other stuff, which is on my watch list now. First half of this movie was really, really great stuff. Second half, it's kind of a different movie, and then it feels like it drags a little bit for me, which kind of brings it down a bit. But overall, it's still really good. It's just cool going back and watching some of these old movies from like the 50s or 60s or any of this time, kind of black and white stuff. And it's just filmmaking was so different back then and so radically different. Like it changes every year, but especially back then, it was just so many things were
Mhm.
completely different. And to see classic stuff like this just kind of realized with these stories and these actors that I don't recognize and have never seen before and a lot of stuff, it's really cool. So I'm making it a mission this year to definitely try check out some more classic kino, as I like to call it, like this, because this is a really great movie and it's revered by a couple of people in the Discord, specifically Mr. DB himself, who works in Hollywood. And that man has
Mhm.
good taste in things, and he loves this movie. So I was very happy to finally watch this.
You compliment him when he hates your baby Scarface.
Hey man, not everyone can be perfect.
That is something that we find out every single day on the
Very
Discord. That
true.
as soon as someone has an opinion you like, they backstab you almost the next day.
Yep.
You, on the other hand, do it every
Oh yeah.
hour. Um, Speaking of black and white movies and Kino, Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the
Hey,
Bomb.
wait, I gotta get the score.
This.
Scores.
Oh yeah, you're right. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
4 to 5.
I'll get to it eventually out of 10.
Cool. All right, now go.
Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned How to Stop Worrying and Learn to Love the Bomb. I love the fact that the name is that long. It's hilarious, and so is this movie. This movie is just such a dark comedy about a military man in the US trying to start global nuclear war, and it is so fucking funny. Just everything in this movie. I don't even know what exactly it is. I think it's the fact that everything is so heightened and everyone in charge of the button is so fucking stupid, and they are so unaware of how dumb it is. It is making fun of just all the red tape that would be needed to end the human race. So much of this movie is hilarious. It is incredible. Um, Honestly, if most people were to watch this, they'd probably go, "I don't understand why it's funny." It's like, well, you probably weren't paying attention to the satire. This movie's very good. It's not staying in the collection, but damn, am I glad that Kubrick continues to not miss for me.
Yeah, this is definitely one I want to watch. I haven't seen it. Kubrick's been he's been mostly missed for me, not a lot of hits, unfortunately. But the nice thing about
Mhm.
Kubrick is every one of his movies feels so different. So I feel like there's could
Yes.
be a hit in there for me, because I do love The Shining. But yeah, no, definitely want to check that out one day. So it's on my watch list. I want to see it out of 10 too.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it a yeehaw while riding a warhead to the ground out of 10.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to talk about Dredd. Look, I wish I liked this
Mhm.
movie more. I think it's perfectly fine. I don't think it's a bad movie. It's just, I don't know.
Mhm.
It's just action kind of schlock to me. But it was good. The action sequences were fun in it. So I can get why people would maybe rank it a little bit higher. It's so incredibly tight, the movie, in terms of its runtime. And I understand that's what they were going for. But
It's an hour and 12 minutes,
yeah,
man.
but I almost wish it was just a little bit longer because I don't know, the world of Dread feels so interesting to me, and I would have loved a little bit more backstory just at the beginning, kind of setting things up, just kind of getting a little bit more information before you start going fully into it. But I understand they were going for full throttle, and that's very tight, and there's not a lot of downtime in it, so I can appreciate that's not what they were going for. But yeah, I mean, it's good. Would I ever rewatch it? Probably not. So mostly kind of a miss for me, but it's fine.
Dread. It's good. We both agree it's good. This was the hidden Alex Garland. There we go. This was the movie. It snuck in.
Yeah,
It snuck in. He was able to get through.
yeah. I thought
Um,
this might have been it, honestly. So I mean, this is certainly the best thing he's ever worked on. So credit for that.
so just because I want to add extra story to that, apparently Dread, it does have someone else listed as a director, but I think Carl Urban, whenever he did interviews, he's like, "Oh yeah, the director." Yeah, never fucking saw him on set. Alex Garland basically directed this movie, but because of the Writers Guild and all that, et cetera, whatever fucking guild it is, he still had his name on it. But Alex Garland was the main person who actually directed this movie, so that's always going to be funny to me that oh my god, Carl Urban is just like, yeah, no, give him the credit, not this guy.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. That's fascinating. Yeah, no, it's not bad. Like I certainly do not hate it as much as Ex Machina or Annihilation or 28 Days Later or any of his other works. So, I mean, credit for that. I still don't think it's amazing. I think people overhyped this one way too much. So it has me a bit worried about the raid because people always talk about the raid like this. So hopefully I enjoy the raid more, but we'll see when we get to it.
I think that most people tend to talk about Dredd more than anything else, as in, like, no one watched this movie, so we should probably talk about it
Yeah,
more,
that's fair.
unless so it's that good.
That's fair.
So,
Yeah, because it never did.
Raid, on the other hand, does have that.
Yeah, I think they wanted to have a sequel, but it did so poorly, so that was a no go.
Big shame. Dread is gonna be this is gonna be something I rewatch at some point because it's been sitting in my collection unwatched, so we'll see if I like it enough to keep it around.
Or
Out of 10.
3 to 5.
Okay, what else are gonna kill? You know what? This felt like it's appropriate. We're gonna throw Willy Wonka in here in the Chocolate Factory. I've never sat down to watch this movie fully through. The first third of this movie basically having so many non sequitur skits of the entire world losing their mind for chocolate is something that is so gold that I would never trade this for the world. Um, One scene where a woman called the police and it's like, oh my god, they kidnapped my husband, I'll give them anything they want. And the kidnappers they call the policeman, and the policeman's like, that was the kidnappers. They said that they'll give you your husband back if you give them your chocolate bars of Wonka. And she hesitates. She's like, how how long do I have to give it to them? And it fucking killed me that this world is so insane about chocolate and getting into a Willy Wonka chocolate factory that this woman's like, do I care about my husband enough to give up a chance to get the golden ticket? I don't know. So much of this movie is so good. I love the fact that Gene Wilder is this man is so tired of every single person the moment he meets them. This man is not listening to a fucking word anyone is saying, and his energy is how I want to handle myself for the rest of my life. This movie is great. I'm only worried that it doesn't hit for me as hard as I would want it to, so I'm gonna send that one to you. And it's very good. It's so fucking good, and it makes me so sad that well, no, never mind. I mean, it's a good thing that there never was a remake because it would be so hard to replicate the tone of this movie because it's so irreverent. Almost like if you were to remake it, you might go too hard on it and make it just seem creepy instead of nonchalant. Thank God that never happened.
Yeah, this would be a bad one to remake because if you fucked with the tone, you'd fuck the entire movie.
And maybe if you had a lead actor that couldn't handle the proper tone of whatever, maybe that might be a problem.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, no, that would be a bad idea. This movie, though, on the other hand, is great. Yeah, I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite movies from my childhood. It's actually been a long time since I've watched it, so I'm so excited to rewatch this 4K cut of it. That's gonna be a great rewatch. I'm very excited for it. But yeah, I love this movie. There's so well, I'll gush about it a bit more when I get to watch it because it definitely is one of my favorite movies from my childhood. So I need a rewatch of it. But it's been a while. But yeah, I love this movie. It's great.
Just one extra thing about this movie. I had no idea that this movie, that's the thing. I have not read this or anything, but just me watching this and knowing that this movie is from 1971. This thing is a special effects powerhouse. Like a lot of this movie is pretty impressive from a set design standpoint and whatever they were doing to do special effects because there's one shot that I saw where they were going to get cut up by the blade from the bubbles that they were burping, where I looked at it and like they have the two actors, in the middle of frame. You can tell that the way that they're cut out, that obviously it's camera trickery instead of them being on wires. But looking at it, I was still thinking like, how did they do this? Like, it's not like they did it through CG or anything because that didn't exist. I was looking at it, I was like, how did you guys go in and just get this frame by frame to be able to map it onto this? Because like that's what they had to do. They had to go in and basically add it frame by frame on the actual reel. So it's one of those things that I am impressed by this, and part of me is kind of hoping that before I send it off, maybe there's something in the special effects that shows me how they did that.
Yeah, they were definitely ahead of its time. I feel like it was. Yeah, like I really wish I could remember. Like it's definitely need to refresh my memory, rewatch it. But I remember them being pretty impressive for that time period, especially because you just see and there's a lot of wacky things that have to happen in that movie, like
Mhm.
without spoiling stuff. But weird shit happens, and you got the Oompa Loompas and all that shit. So which by the way, shout out to Oompa Loompas.
You know what? Shout out to not making the Oompa Loompas CG, because that would be a terrible
Yeah, thank
mistake.
God no one would ever do something like that.
Look, I'm running out of copium here. Can you hand me some?
Yeah, sure. I'll mail it. Yeah, I got a lot.
Okay.
I need it after It Takes Two.
I needed a lot after Activision.
Yeah, we're fucked. Ugh.
By the way, my wife almost had a freak out when I told her that Crash Bandicoot and Spyro are both owned by Xbox. She's like, that feels wrong. That feels wrong.
Not right.
And I was like, oh my God,
It's
I married a pony.
it's
This is great.
it's not right. It's not right. God, you want to fucking hurt Sony? You hurt Sony. I guess that's business. But art deserves its day. And and Crash and Spyro, they were art beforehand, and they should stay art.
And now they're just
Yeah,
business. They're just
no, it's
Game
true.
Pass trash.
Games will always win. News will always fail.
You can either hate or you can create. Uh, I want Phil Spencer to greenlight a commercial of Crash walking out of the Sony studios, right? I want him to have a megaphone and be like, hey, y'all subscribe to Game Pass? That's all I want.
God, I would hang myself.
Okay, that was Willy Wonka. You're next.
Yep.
Wait, no, hold on.
4 to 5.
Willy Wonka is gonna be that kidnapping scene out of 10. And also, I read a review on Letterboxd. It's like, if you took that 1 minute and then added the Wonka logo at the end of it, that'd be a perfect commercial. So I'm gonna make that review out of 10.
That's true. I like that. Yeah, 4 to 5. All right, let's do Lady Bird. Movie was really great. I really enjoyed this movie actually more than I thought I would. I'm slowly starting to realize that I think coming of age movies is like a genre I really jive with. There's a couple in here, but this one in particular was really great. It was done really well acting. The actress's name, I forget her name, but a bunch of people clowned on me for never heard of her or watched any of her movies. I hadn't, but she's really good in this. Um, Timothy Chalamet is a douche here, but I still love the kid. He's great.
Yeah, exactly.
He's awesome. How can you hate Timothy Chalamet? And yeah, I don't know. This is the kind of movie like I'll actually like. I don't think there's a 4K cut for it, but I would totally buy a 4K cut for it if it was, because this is just the type of movie that I could like. If there was a rainy day and I was kind of feeling sick and I wanted something like fun to watch, I would totally throw that on again because I don't know, it just kind of feels a good comfort food and I really enjoyed it.
You see, the funny thing is that I was thinking this like maybe a couple of hours ago when I was watching X-Men First Class. I was like, man, I really like the 60s. And then I stopped to think, I was like, well, I like the 70s too. Shit, I kind of like the 80s too. And I was like, but the 90s, I'm pretty sure there isn't anything in the 90s that I care about. But Lady Bird being so early 2000s almost feels like it's 90s. So damn it, I think I just like any time that they set a movie in a period. So Lady Bird, whoops. Lady Bird, I can't ever separate it from Boyhood in my mind, which is, hey, y'all want some of that early 2000s nostalgia? And then my brain just goes, yes, I released serotonin when you reminded me of my childhood. Please, can I have some more? And Lady Bird just kind of hits that for me. It's obviously another A24 banger. I really like this movie. I don't think I've watched it since it was in theaters. All I know is that I did not regret my time. It is pretty much a hangout movie that you get to watch these people just kind of grow up from like 2003 to like 2007, but like I'm okay with that. All the writing is good, all the performances are good, that I'll just hang out with these people for like an hour 40 minutes. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. No, it's definitely like I just randomly picked this one on a whim, or I might have done a vote. I forget now, but either way, I'm glad I watched it because very enjoyable. And yeah, like I said, I'll definitely look out for. I might even get if I could find a Blu-ray copy of it for cheap. I might actually pick it up because I definitely enjoyed that. So yeah, I don't know. Just like I said, I think there's a thing with coming of age stories for me that just kind of hits something for me. I enjoy them. I do.
Mm. Ladybird, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a. I will. This movie's good enough that I will watch Little Women out of 10.
Yeah, I got to watch that too. It's on my list. 4 to 5.
What do I have next? You know what? Screw it. In the Mood for Love. This was a Criterion Collection movie. It is a Chinese movie. It is about this couple that they move into each other. They move into each other. Jesus Christ.
I bet
That
they
sounds pretty
do.
vulgar. Jesus. They move into the same apartment complex. They're next door to each other. They find out that because of their spouses, they share something in common. I'll leave it there because it's something that whenever I read the description, I misinterpreted. But, I'm not going to, I'll leave that vague. all I know is that the main mandate to this movie is, what if you had a very good relationship, and let's say for some reason it gets broken up, but it's not on bad terms or anything. Like you're completely happy about it. It just whatever. This movie felt like the director's whole point of this movie was to find these small moments that prove that those two people were in love with each other, and he's like, I'm going to make those small movements into an entire movie, and it succeeds very well. Honestly, I felt like this is a movie that even when I wasn't that tired, I was still slightly tired, and I felt like, oh shit, I'm missing a lot. But what little I picked up on, it's like, oh yeah, that's the point of this movie. This is a movie that if you don't know what you're watching, you'll probably spend an hour 20 going, what is even happening? I don't know what the point of this movie is. Even the ending is like, it's easy to remember what the ending is calling back to, but it's also something where it feels like, what is that, just the end of the movie? And it's like, well, yeah, that is the end of the movie. That kind of just answers the entire thing of what this movie was about. It's all about the small things. Honestly, you could have probably named this movie The Little Things, and it would have fit better than that other shitty movie, The Little Things. But yeah, this In the Mood for Love is very good. It's very good. And God, these colors are so pretty. And the main actress, her dresses are immaculate. It's not even a bonk thing. I just look at him like, this is just really aesthetically pleasing. You know how to dress.
It was it's a Criterion, you said, right? Collection.
Correct.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've heard they're like, well, I mean, I've seen even a couple, but their Blu-rays are really good. They're basically 4K quality. Sometimes they're really nice. So
Yes.
that doesn't surprise me at all. That's cool. Is it staying in the collection, this one, or no?
No,
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 not that good.
it's
Yeah,
not.
fair.
I really like it, but for some reason, I don't ever know what that X factor is. Oh, hold on. I just remembered that the entire movie, it doesn't really have a score. It just, well, okay, it does have a little bit of a score, but it has one track that continuously repeats through the movie, and that track is so hot that I didn't even care.
Oh fuck, what am I thinking? The Succession thing going on there with that theme.
The problem is, like, that's a series, so like you're spending
Yeah,
10 episodes of
that's
them
true.
doing the same track. It's like, okay, it's kind of getting old that you keep doing it, but I also still like it. So, can you're really tricking me here. Like, this is an hour and 20 minutes. So it's like, okay, you know what? Kind of milk it.
Yeah,
It plays it like 3 to 5 times. It's like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
that's fair. I don't know. This sounds interesting. I feel like I'll check it out one day. I'll probably add it to the watch list. Yeah, like I'll probably at some point I'm probably gonna subscribe to the Criterion channel and just like stream a bunch of shit on there that I want to see. So that would definitely be a candidate for that. So yeah, for sure.
I will say that this is one where please do not fall asleep. Well, sorry, do not watch this sleepy, because
Fair.
if not, you're going to be basically missing a whole bunch of small things.
Good to know.
This is going to be a the little things of love out of 10.
It'll be a. I'm going to add it to the watch list out of 10.
Go on, go on. I feel like we need to start speeding this up because god damn this list.
We're still at an hour and 20. We're okay somewhat.
Uh, you know how it is. We get to the 2 hours mark. It's like, we'll never get to three, and then we hit
Yeah.
three. Like, shit, it happened
Just
again.
wait till hour 4. Looper.
Oh no.
Looper. Look, I really like Looper. Looper's a guilty pleasure of mine. Rian Johnson's sci-fi stuff, except Star Wars, Jesus Christ. But everything else I enjoy. And I enjoy some of his other smaller movies too, like Brick and stuff. But Looper's really good to me. I got the 4K Zavi. Actually, this is the first thing I ever ordered from Zavi. It took forever to get here, but a gorgeous,
Ooh,
gorgeous
ooh.
white steelbook. I like it a lot. Yeah, but in general, I love sci-fi stuff, and time travel is always interesting, and loop stories. So this was right up my alley. It's like my second or third time seeing it. Really good performances throughout the whole thing. I still don't quite understand why Joseph Gordon-Levitt doesn't look human in this. I've never understood that, but other than that, I mean, the acting's really good. Bruce Willis and him are great. Emily Blunt's in here, and she's doing a great job too. I love Emily Blunt. And yeah, like I mean, without going into spoilers, because again, we're kind of doing these quick throughs, and I don't know if I want to go in depth with it. But the ending for this is really good. It packs a pretty good punch. I think it ties everything really well together. So yeah, I mean, if you enjoy sci-fi stuff and all that, I think you'd enjoy this movie. And yeah, it's good. I really like it.
When it comes to Looper, I will always remember that Looper is my poster child of just looking your audience in the eye and just saying, shut the fuck up. whatever. It's a movie. Shut up. I don't want to hear your goddamn theories. I don't want to hear you talking about fucking cinema sins on YouTube, talking about this is a plot hole. Shut up. Shut up. Just don't think about it so much. And that's what I respect Looper more than anything else. And I think that's kind of what I respect also in terms of Knives Out. That Ryan Johnson is a good writer. Just don't let him write a Star Wars. I don't know what happened there, and you know what? I'm gonna blame JJ Abrams for that one, because maybe, if it wasn't a sequel, maybe it would have turned out better. But hey, that's The Last Jedi, and this is the most that this movie will ever get airtime, because I'm probably never gonna watch it again. You're probably never gonna watch it again. So there we go. Whoops. But yeah, Looper is something that whenever I think about it, I just think this is operating on a higher level than you'd imagine most movies would be, and I'm very happy that it does.
Yeah, I agree completely with you. So, yeah, I know, really good movie. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's one of my favorite sci-fi movies. It's more. I feel like it's more impactful if you watch this movie yourself and kind of experience it. And if you've experienced it, I mean, there's tons of like YouTube videos and stuff like that that kind of dig in and go deep dive into this movie. And I could definitely do that, but time crunch, so no. But great movie.
All right, Looper is going to be a just shut the fuck up out of 10.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I completely agree with that too. There's so many plot holes in the movie, but I don't give a fucking stuff on.
No, the thing is that the movie itself just goes, shut up, does
No,
it matter?
no, exactly. Yeah, totally.
Like that, what I love is that it's like, look, this is the story I wanted to tell. If you want to look for facts and logic, go that way. If you want to feel something, stay here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Have you ever seen? By the way, quickly, have you seen Breck?
No, I know. Do you realize how many directors'
No, I get it.
filmographies I need
No,
to
I
watch?
got it. I get it.
Scorsese's right
No, I
there.
get it. Good shit though. Like a young coming. It's kind of like a coming of age detective story almost. Very good. Very good.
Okay, all right. Wait, did you give your score
Yeah,
already?
4 out of 5. We're good.
Okay, all right. Let's see. In the Mood for Love. The Tree of Life. Um, I don't fucking know, man. Like, in my brain when I was watching this, I just kept trying to think. I was like, what is this movie? And the only way I can really describe it is that this is a very religious feeling. Well, maybe not. hmm, a very faith-based movie. I will say faith because religion feels like it needs to be like something organized. I want to say faith, maybe even higher power feeling movie, where this movie feels like it wants to show you why it's worth living. I don't know, man. This movie's starting to become a little foggy to me at this point, even though I know I fucking loved it. All I know is that a lot of this movie feels like if you had aliens and you needed to show them why humans kept going on while also showing some of the shit of why they probably shouldn't keep going, it feels like this would be the perfect movie to show. A lot of this movie feels very loose, but it feels very intentional in its looseness. Like, you'll see the characters interacting with each other, but the camera will just be on a blade of grass or something. You'll cut across them being outside and their sentences aren't exactly important. It's more about like whenever you can think of good nights in your memory and how you don't really remember the conversations. You just really remember maybe the inflection points in those conversations and the emotions that came with it. What is the Tree of Life? Even with everything that I've said, I should probably go into that a little, I guess. This movie is about well, look again, because of Boyhood is coming up again. It is a Texas family. So hey, congrats, you fucking got me again. This movie is about a Texas family, them growing up, and I think one of the family members dies, and it has the main character reevaluating his time with his family. That feels very surface level because it's very weird, because the movie is definitely shot super art house, but I don't know if it's art house because it feels like there is still a string line coming through about what the point of this is. It never feels like it stops being a movie to just show you visuals, except one part. There's an extended section where it just feels like this is cool and it's visually stunning and the music is good that I don't really care what's going on. I love this. But the rest of it after that kind of goes back into looking like an art house movie, but once you kind of understand what the movie is supposed to be, which even now when I'm talking about it, I feel like I'm talking it out of my ass because I don't feel like I remember it well enough. I would need to watch this movie immediately and then start recording to be able to tell you about this movie more than how I am right now. But that's that's the tree of life. I really much like it. Terrence Malick is now on my map. I gotta try and see what else he's done because if this man just kind of shoots everything like art house, even though it feels like it definitely is in the camp of art house, but it's also like, but there's enough structure here that I don't know if I can fully like, yeah, it's art house, but is it art house?
Yeah, I'm like 93% positive I'm gonna hate this movie,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna watch it. So I know nothing else about it though. I've heard Terrence Malick's name before. I think Dustin really likes this movie, if I'm not mistaken. But
Uh,
that's all I know.
yeah, his love is the reason that I watched
Yeah,
it. I was like, well, you know what? You kind of didn't score one with Evangelion, but like you're on the right track. So if you gave me a recommendation, sure, I'll try it.
yeah. So I kind of want to see it at some point now because I've heard enough that's interested me. But yeah, I like from everything I've heard, I don't think I'll like it. I don't think this is gonna be a me movie, but I mean, we'll see at some point.
No, no, you will just think, you know what? This was a pretty movie. I don't care about this at all. Give me a narrative.
Which I'll get to that in a few minutes. But yeah.
Okay, Tree of Life is gonna be it's gonna be a mood out of 10.
Arms crossed, but I'll watch it out of 10.
All right, continue.
Nobody. This movie is a lot of fun. Take John Wick, put Bob Odenkirk in there. Hey, it's fun. It's basically what this is. It's a good movie. It's basically exactly what I expected going into it. I'm not gonna rush out and try to buy the 4K to get this in my collection. But if I ever see it drop to a cheap price, you know what? I'll probably pick it up because yeah, it was a good movie. I will say this though, and this is for you in particular because I know you like this shit, but in general for anyone else who wants to watch it. But there's an action sequence specifically in this movie that takes place in a bus, and it might be one of my favorite action movie sequences I've seen in a long time. It's so well shot and really well done. It's definitely the highlight of the movie for me. So yeah.
I see someone on Mercari selling John Wick trilogy for $19. I offered them 17. That's the closest thing I can have for nobody. Honestly, nobody. Okay, hold on. Can you tell that it actually is those actors?
What do you mean?
Can you tell that it's Bob Odenkirk kicking ass?
Uh I wouldn't say. Let me counter your question with a question. Can you tell it's Keanu Reeves kicking ass?
Oh yes.
Okay, then yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Then okay. You know what? Nobody. I'll watch it eventually, but there's a lot of shit. Like the Raid movies is another one. That's the problem is that there's so much fucking stuff where it's like, oh, how am I ever gonna get to this? How am I gonna fucking die? Yeah, nobody. Eventually, out of 10, I want to see Saul kicking ass.
3.5 out of 5.
Oh shit, I turned off my phone when I'm the one who's next. Fuck you, phone. You should be unlocking. Shit, get away from me. That's Makari. The Outsiders. Okay. So, The Outsiders is a movie directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and there was a video I watched. I don't know, man. Like it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. It feels like longer, so I'm just gonna shorten it because that's how time works now. They were talking about a movie that he directed. I'm gonna look it up. Just send me the filmography. There we go. Oh, fuck. What movie is it? Is it one from the what fucking? Okay, Francis Ford Coppola, New York Stories. Is that it? No. Where the fuck is this movie? Okay,
You're
I
going
have no
crazy.
idea where this movie is. I think I'm okay. Hold on, no. I'm gonna look up the goddamn YouTube video because this is starting to drive me insane now. Expensive.
To this, what you actually hear? Probably nothing.
No, that's so much of this is probably gonna get cut. Oh, there we go. There we go. I found that. Is it? Brian De Palma, motherfucker. My entire thesis of this is gone. It was Brian De Palma that shot that scene, not Francis Ford
Yeah, rip.
Coppola, motherfucker.
You're fucked.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm still gonna make this argument like if it wasn't Brian De Palma. So sorry, Brian De Palma, you no longer directed Bonfire of the Vanities. Okay, it was Francis Ford Coppola. Get fucked, Brian De Palma. I'm sorry. Okay. Um. So, in the video, the title is The Most Difficult Shot in Movie History and Why It Matters. It is a YouTube video by Patrick H. Willems. He is one of the YouTubers that I like very much. He talks about how Brian De Palma, but now for the sake of my argument, it's going to be Francis Ford Coppola, how he shoots movies where even though it is something that is very bog standard where honestly you can just kind of go A camera B camera and get the story, how Brian De Palma does not want to do anything in that movie that you could probably shoot very easily, how he wants to keep challenging himself to be able to milk out every shot that he can to be the best that it can be. So I feel like that same mentality went into The Outsiders. What is The Outsiders? It's the book that you probably read. I don't read books. I'm disgusted by them. I don't even know how to read, honestly. The Outsiders stars so many people that you look and it's like, how did you get all of these people in one movie? How the hell did you do that? We're talking Emilio Estevez, Matt Dillon, Ralph Macchio, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, Diane Lane, Tom Cruise. How did you get all these people in this movie? Yes, it's 1984, where probably before all of them had their careers, but the question is, how the hell did you have this many people who had good careers in one movie? Impressive. Um, it's about uh, these kids. It's the 1950s. They've got their gangs, and they're being dumb. That's about it. Like that's really what it is. And what I'm so impressed with this movie more than anything else is that there are so many shots in this movie where he follows the Brian De Palma kind of school of thinking in that other movie where even if it's something that you can probably shoot standardly, he wants to make it as creative as possible, and I appreciate that. Shit, I non sequitur first. Well, no, I'm going to non sequitur, a non sequitur. What I was talking about with that video, basically, Brian De Palma opposed the idea of using stock footage for airplanes landing, and that's pretty much most what movies do. They just have stock footage of an airplane landing or departing. And what he did is that his second unit director, he was like, I bet you can't get a pretty shot of an airplane landing. So what they did is that they spent like $80,000 just trying to figure out how to get a shot of an airplane backlit by golden hour, as well as getting the World Trade Center in the shot. And the whole video is fucking wild. Like it's so good where it's like, oh my god, these people really went through the effort for stuff that now most of the time people will just go, oh, we need it in golden hour. Well, we have that package in Adobe Premiere, so the lighting is going to look really good if we just put it in that little spot. We got that ray tracing, it's going to look great. And it's like, I kind of miss this. But yeah, The Outsiders, it's a movie that you can tell so much effort was put into, and it turns out really good on the other side. Also, that ending hit a lot harder than I thought. Is this one I'm gonna keep? No. Still really good though.
Yeah, I haven't seen this movie in so long. I think I watched it in school actually. Like I think they made us read the book and then watch the movie. And yeah,
Mhm.
I remember really enjoying it, and I'm sure I would probably really enjoy it if I watch it again. So that's definitely a project for one day. I mean, good old Mister Francis Ford Coppola in his heyday, man, making some goddamn Kino shits. So good on the man. And yeah, like you said, there's just a stacked cast in there. There's so much good young talent in there at the time, and mm, it's just well acted and really just a good movie from what I remember.
The Outsiders is gonna be a that specific shot whenever the stabbing happens out of 10. That shot is oh my god, that was the moment where I transcended about how beautiful that shot was.
Maybe about like a 3.5 out of 5. 5 for me for now. But rewatch.
Okay, go for it. You're
All
next.
right, sorry to hurt your heart, but I'm putting this here. Akira, look, I understand why people like this.
Yeah, that's fine.
I get it. I get why people enjoy this. It just the story did absolutely nothing for me in this movie, man.
Yeah,
The animation is absolutely stunning, so full props for that.
yeah,
The soundtrack's actually really good too. I really enjoyed the
yeah,
music in this, but yeah, like the animation is definitely the highlight here. It's far ahead of its time, to be quite frank.
yeah.
Like it's really good and really beautiful. But yeah, I just did not care about anything else that was going on the screen. It just kind of felt like I was getting half a movie at points. Like I just didn't feel like I was getting the
Yeah.
full picture, which apparently there's a manga you're supposed to read and come on to get the full story. So that ain't happening. But yeah, I definitely get you, especially. I get why you love this. I can get why a lot of people love this. Unfortunately, this one did not click for me.
Animation's gorgeous, and if you got that, that's all you needed.
Yeah. So that's it for me on Akira. Listen to somebody who actually likes it. I'm not going to go on for it for too long. So I give it a 2.5 out of 5.
Look, I talked about it at some point. You go back to whatever that episode is. Look, it's just a gorgeous movie. I like audio and visual. If you're just stimulating me, that's enough for a movie for me.
Fair enough. All right. What's next
All
on
right.
your fuck off list?
Oh, hold on. Score.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yes.
say that opening skyline shot out of 10.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, it looks gorgeous on 4K, by the way.
Yes, that
Which, by the
too.
way, I sent it to Brandon, so he's going to get my copy. So somebody that actually likes it can appreciate it. But yeah, gorgeous on 4K. So
God, I really should watch that movie without the HDR again, just so I can get pissed. Because man, without the
yeah.
HDR, it's rough.
Thankfully,
Like
there was HDR on this copy, so look
like
good.
it's Rambo. It really is just Rambo. Um, okay, I'm gonna bundle these two together because I like how close in my mind they sat together, which is Full Metal Jacket and Jarhead, two Marine movies. Full Metal Jacket feels like it was a direct, well, not a direct inspiration, but it feels like it was definitely one of the inspirations going to Jarhead. So, Full Metal Jacket, that first half of the movie is fucking goaded. It is gold. It is undefeated. It is easily one of the best hours of movies that you can get from a war movie. It is incredible. There is nothing about that drill sergeant that I would change for the life of me. I respect that drill sergeant so much because Stanley Kubrick is already an insane director who expects so much from their actors. He was the drill sergeant instructing the actors of how to, act like Marines. But whenever they got the actual person who was the Marines instructor, he was like, no, 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 I can do this better. The fact that this man stood up to Stanley Kubrick's crazy ass and went, I can do this better, and probably told Kubrick, fuck you, this is my take. I have to imagine that those two people either saw eye to eye with each other and didn't give each other shit, or this man bent over Stanley Kubrick and it's like, we're gonna fucking do this shit my way. And it's incredible. Now, the good thing is that when it comes to Full Metal Jacket, the second half is really good. The second half only really happens if it is, preceded by the first half. I get that. The second half is still good. The problem is that that first half is just so fucking good that anything else that happens after that was gonna be set up to feel like a disappointment. So now, Full Metal Jacket, the reason I wanted to put these two movies together is that there's a certain character, right? There's a character who goes a little crazy, goes a little nuts, right? And something happens to him, right? Something, right? I don't want to exactly go too much into details. What I will say though is that if that character were to get a movie of themselves, and if you were to jump ahead like a decade or so, that character would be Jake Gyllenhaal in Jarhead. Full stop. So let's go into Jarhead now. Uh, Jarhead, I could have sworn was an Iraq war movie. I've watched it once, and that was when it was on DVD from Blockbuster. So basically, with Jarhead, while Full Metal Jacket feels like it always feels like, yeah, the Marines are insane, but at the end of the day, they're not really to blame for any of this. So when it comes to Jarhead, it feels like that movie is like, yeah, the Marines are still doing good, but the problem is that everything about the red tape about going into war, that's the thing. Even Doctor Strangelove feels like it feeds into a little bit about this. Basically, the politics of going to war has basically just ruined their ability to be able to do good. And I guess being able to lower the bar of who can be a Marine. Well, that's the thing. Anyone can be a Marine if you want to go through the training, but there's something I guess about the people now aren't cut out to make the best Marines, and that's Jake Gyllenhaal's character to a T in Jarhead. He's like, I don't even want to fucking be here. It's literally just that it was either this or college, and I'd rather choose this. Jarhead as well is gorgeously shot. Actually, you know what? Because I'm talking technical, let me jump back to Full Metal Alchemist. Fuck you, Weaves. I can't stand you did this to me. Full Metal Jacket is a movie that looks incredible in 4K, but man, it sounds soft. I don't understand what it is. Like, this is a war movie. It should not sound this soft. Jarhead, on the other hand, a Blu ray disc, was kicking Full Metal Jacket's ass on the sound department. It doesn't even know what Dolby Atmos is, but my sound system was able to figure out, I don't know how it fucking did it, where it would send the audio to the ceiling speakers, and there were some really good scenes where, like, the famous scene with the oil spigots shooting oil into the air, it sent the sound effects to the ceiling. I was like, this is incredible. But Jarhead to me feels like it is a movie about how people would go into war expecting Rambo and expecting that. Okay, there's a scene in there's two movies specifically in Jarhead that pop up and basically tell me everything about this movie that I needed to know, which is one scene where they're watching Apocalypse Now, and it's the famous scene where the helicopters are storming the beach and all of them are going, yeah, they're all cheering, they're all so hyped about the violence, and you're like, yeah, but Apocalypse Now didn't like this at all. Like, that is supposed to be a moment where it's like, man, this is kind of fucked up. It's still really exciting, but it's something where it's like, yeah, this probably isn't exactly good. And you have that. That's one movie where they're all losing their mind to watch. And then they have the Deer Hunter. They were going to watch the Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter, on the other hand, is nothing to be celebrated about. The Deer Hunter is a movie that is so clearly against everything that was going on. It never has a moment to be exciting. It is just a movie that's like, yeah, war fucking sucks. And it never stops to try to give you excitement through it. And what I love is that in Jarhead, they were going to watch Deer Hunter, but then something happens that stops them from watching the movie. I won't mention that because it's a moment. But yeah, Jarhead feels very much. That's the thing. They go the entire well, they go the entire movie without doing what they were set to do as Marines, and a lot of the movie just feels as pointless as what the Gulf War was and the War on Terror was. It's so perfectly for this time that the movie taking place during the Gulf War is like, yeah, sure, it's the Gulf War, wink wink, it's just Iraq. Jarhead is incredible, and Roger Deakins can fucking line up a shot. This man kills, and this movie needs a 4K cut. Would I get it? No, but other people should probably watch this as high quality as they can.
Yeah, so Jarhead's fantastic. I love that movie. It's a really great movie. Jakey G, my boy.
Of
Obviously
course,
Jakey G
of
Bub.
course. That.
But yeah,
Mhm.
no, I like it a lot. So I'm definitely with you there. And then Full Metal Jacket, like that actually, all that shit you just said has me more interested in Full Metal Jacket now. Still haven't seen it, so that's on my list of one day of things to watch. But yeah, all that shit
Mm.
you just said definitely has me a little bit more intrigued to eventually watch that one. So again, there's a couple Kubrick movies out there that I still hope can hit for me, and that's definitely one of them. That's probably actually the one I have the highest hope for out of all the ones left. So here's hoping. But yeah, man, Jarhead's so good. I love that movie so much. That's great that the audio kicks so much ass too. Because there's a lot of explosive moments in that movie. So It's good that
Mhm.
it sounds good, and yeah, I would love a 4K cut of that film too because it's definitely a really great one. I'd pick that up pretty damn quick.
But I really love that I was able to watch these movies in quick succession. Well, not quick succession. It was a couple of days in
Yeah, it's still
between.
quick.
But being Full Metal Jacket is an anti-war movie from the 80s, but it is a movie that you could imagine that if someone just jumped into the second half, they would misinterpret it as another rah-rah movie. And that's what Jarhead is about. Jarhead is about rah-rah war movies, but then finding out that this type of war with the Gulf War and Iraq War and subsequent wars about that, how they aren't exactly wars about fighting nations anymore. It's fighting ideology. So you're not going to go in and just start mowing people down. It's literally just how do you fight an idea, and how maybe Marines and just how most warfare is handled just isn't equipped for this. So yeah, Jarhead is really fucking good. I could probably just give it an entire special episode. It'd probably be able to carry it easily. I just don't know if I'm ever going to watch it again or if I even want to go through that process, editing, etc., etc., etc. But like Jarhead is on that level easily.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely a lot to talk about and chew through in that movie. And if you haven't seen it and you're listening to this, definitely watch it. It's I'm not a huge war movie guy, but that's definitely one of my favorites. It's really good.
Full Metal Jacket is just going to be Drill Sergeant looking you straight in the eyes and tearing you apart piece by piece. And then Jarhead is going to be a Roger Deakins out of 10.
Of course, Mr. Deakins. Jarhead's like I think a 4 out of 5 for me, and then yeah, Full Metal Jacket is I need to watch that soon out of 5.
Kind of unrelated. I just think this is funny. I was telling my dad about how Jarhead was gorgeous, and I was talking to him about like, oh man, we need to watch Skyfall
Mm.
eventually. And I showed him the shadow fight in Skyfall, and I started talking throughout the scene. I was like, man, it's just a slow push in. You see them fighting. You can tell that it's them fighting. It's not crazy cuts. You got the lights in the back. You've got the cool shadows because of it. You got the muzzle blare, the muzzle flash being the only source of light to show you them every once in a while. And my dad's like, yeah, I'm not watching that. I'm just like, ah, man, look at the fight scene. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. This is how I watch everything.
Oh man, that's funny.
But yeah, okay. You have it next.
Dune. I rewatched Dune. I mean, look, I've talked. We've so good. I mean, we've talked about Dune a lot on this podcast. I mean, my notes literally just say Dune, 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 Dune 5 times. And that's basically. I mean, it's my favorite movie of last year. It's fantastic. Fuck Best Buy for scratching my steelbook. You guys are a bunch of assholes. But yeah,
Canada, at least.
yeah, I got it at least because it's a rare one. I mean, yeah,
Oh no, I just mean the fact that it's Best Buy Canada. For some reason,
yes,
Best Buy
yeah. Best Buy
Canada is
Canada's
what
trash.
GameStop USA is.
Yes, yeah. Best Buy Canada's trash. So keep that in mind, you American listeners. But yeah,
Mm.
I love Dune. Nothing changed on my second viewing. It's still a 5 out of 5 for me. We've talked so much about this, so I'm not going to spend more time on that. Just great fucking movie, amazing. And I have rewatched it because I got the steelbook as part of my collection. So awesome, great 4K disc, looks fucking fantastic, sounds great. So yeah, it's awesome.
We basically strapped a special episode to an episode to trick you guys into listening
Yeah.
to it. So, like, what else can I say? I guess I can say that I bought 2 steelbooks because I knew that it was going to be stonks, and I was fucking right because these steelbooks are selling for $100 pop, baby. Contact me if you want to buy a sealed copy, $120 to the first person who messages me. And if you call right now, Janet's on the phones right now. I mean, sorry, Janet Jr.'s on the phones right now. If you call her, I'll give you an extra 10% off discount, okay? Call now.
We miss you, Janet. Come back.
Well, I mean, yeah, Janet's been dead. Like, Janet Jr.
Sorry,
is the one
Janet
who's in
Junior,
charge now.
Junior.
Please don't give her any shit. She might fire us. I don't know how much leverage she
Yeah,
has.
she could cancel us very easily.
I mean, you know how much footage she has of just us saying slurs at the beginning to test out our vocal cords? Like, she can ruin us easily.
Yeah, okay. We love you, Janet Junior.
Janet Jr., please don't ruin us. Please don't. Okay, Dune. Yes, the Dune is also gonna be a out of 10.
Perfect. 5 out of 5.
You know what? Let's go Shiva Baby. Shiva Baby is anxiety in a teenager. Well, she's not even a teenager. She's a young woman. Shiva Baby is anxiety put in a young woman's Jewish body, and Oh my god, there was a perfect review on Letterboxd that said, "This is uncut gems for people who think that going to law school is a personality trait."
I saw that review and it's true, man. I got a lot of uncut gem vibe during this movie, man. It's
Yes.
great. I
Just
love it.
this movie, so much of it is just like, stop talking, stop talking, stop talking." And I swear that you see like maybe two people's feet throughout this entire movie. And what I mean by that more than anything else is that the camera doesn't pull
No.
wide almost at
Yeah,
all.
it's up
It
close.
is in close-ups for almost the entire movie, and you feel so claustrophobic in this house with everything that they're doing. You're just like, please relent a little bit. Please let me give a small breath. And the movie goes, okay, here you go. Here's a small respite. She's going to go into the bathroom. You're like, oh, okay, thank God. And she's going to forget her phone in there. It's just going to be unlocked. You're like, no, please, movie, stop. Like, oh my God. Shiva Baby is so good. It is a tight, what, 80 minutes? Like, oh, by the way, because I knew that I was watching so many movies this month, I tended to look for the shorter movies. It's going to be a trend, at least for the rest of this month. I don't know about next month. We'll see. But yeah, Shiva Baby, incredible. If you look it up, it's not going to show that it's streaming anywhere, but at least in the US, it's on HBO Max. If you search on HBO Max, it's there, but Google doesn't list it. And you know what? Fine, whatever. It's a tiny movie. I don't think I'm going to be angry.
Yeah, no, so I watched it on it's on Crave in Canada, and basically it was Mac who recommended this movie to both of us. And yeah, no, man, I got to think like I really hope, and obviously there's been movies like this before. Don't get me wrong, but Uncut Gems was pretty popular and a lot of people talked about it. And I really hope this whole anxiety fucking I want to hide my eyes, but not in a horror way, trend continues in some movies because I love these type of movies and they're so horrible and they're so hard to watch. But God, is it a fun time by the end of it? And yeah, this was a lot nicer in the way it ends, and there's a lot of but there's some cringe moments in this, man. And yeah, there were times where I looked at my phone not because I was bored, but it's like I cannot look at the screen right now. I just physically can't look at what's going on. It hurts.
Dude, it's funny to me because to me, you have cringe on the spectrum, right?
You're right.
You have comedy cringe on the other end, and that's where you have The Office sitting, and then you have dramatic cringe, and that's basically Shiva
Yeah.
Baby and Uncut
Yeah.
Gems, where you're just like, it's not cringe how you think, it's literally the physical act of
Hmm.
cringing. Stop, please.
Hmm. Yeah, it just it doesn't relent a lot, and even those seconds you do get a reprieve, they're quickly taken away. You don't get them for too long. Like there's that one scene where she's like where the girl the guy's wife is trying to get her to hold the baby, and it just like it's just zooming in on everyone, and they're all like talking in slow motion at points, and everything's getting hazy around her, and just the anxiety, and everybody's like tugging at each other. It's like oh my god, situation is fucking horrible. I hate it.
Dude, the idea that that movie just has a baby and the baby knows specifically perfect times when to cry,
Yep.
like it's like, oh my god, this movie uses the baby so
Oh yeah.
effectively
Yep.
that every time you hear it's like, ah.
Yep. It's so bad. Oh god.
Shiva Baby is gonna be a I feel pain out of 10, and the sigh afterwards is worth it out of 10.
It's a 4 out of 5. Definitely worth it. Very, very cringe inducing though. So keep that in mind before you watch.
We're getting close to 2 hours. I'm in fear.
How many do you have left?
Let me see. I've got 7, and I can bundle 2 of them together.
All right, I should probably knock some off because I've got 14 left. So
Fuck! Go!
I should I should probably knock some off here, shouldn't I? All right, let's go. Let me go for
I haven't had dinner yet.
let me go for a bit, and you jump in if you want to say like if you want to put one of yours in here anywhere. Okay. All
Go
right.
for it.
All right, Dunkirk. We've talked about Dunkirk a lot, so I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
go into it too much. I think I think I've actually improved on it a bit since my last watch. It's still at the bottom of Nolan's filmography for me, but the same way that Sicario is for Denny. I mean, I just love both of these movies, but they're just not my favorites from that particular director. Great movie, doesn't relent till the very end, and you finally get your breath. So, still love it. great movie.
Dunkirk, I should have never watched again outside of theaters, but at least it's a good way to test my theater setup.
Perfect. So yeah,
Out of 10.
Dunkirk. I'm gonna stop there. 4 to 5.
Go for it. Keep going.
Okay. No rating.
Oh no, that was my
Oh, well,
rating.
there's your rating. My bad. All right. I didn't hear the out of
Oh
5.
yeah, I added out of 10 at the
Or
very
out of
end.
10, I missed it. There you go. All right. I'm going to bundle these two together for obvious reasons. Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace. Yes, I'm rewatching the James Bond movies, all in beautiful 4 crispy K. Uh, so I mean, we've talked some about Bond here too, but I'll give it some minor thoughts here. Casino Royale, it's still fucking amazing. I love the movie. Rest in peace, Chris Cornell. Love your song, love your intro. It's fantastic. It's just,
You know his name.
yeah, you know his name. So good. Okay. It's the
Mhm.
dark, gritty reboot the franchise needed after some of those Pierce Brosnan movies. It's crazy to me how young fucking Craig looks in this movie compared to the end, which when I rewatch No Time to Die, I'm going to laugh even harder at that. But yeah, he looks so young here. Fresh, young eyed
Yep.
Bond. It was perfect for the movie. So, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Uh,
All right. This is going to be the Sean Mason Appreciation Hour
yes.
again. Mr. Mason, you have platinum near replicant. I'm so proud of you. I don't know how you still like the game after that. I think I appreciate you even deeper. I think your incredible son told me that you were thinking about a tattoo for from Nier. I would say wait until you play Automata. Either the Yorha symbol or the angelic writing or a lunar tear would make good tattoos. I'm very happy you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy
Yeah,
Automata.
Lunar Tier would be really cool, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, so again, shout out to Sean Mason. He sent me that Skyfall Steelbook, so I'll be talking about that next week. And I'm excited to watch Skyfall again. That's going to be fantastic. Definitely going to spend some more time on that one. But yeah, because then Quantum of Solace, man, I still hate this movie. I actually think I even hate it more this time around. It just bores me, man. There's 10,000 action cuts throughout the entire movie too. It's just it's so poorly directed. Uh, I don't know, man. I just don't like this movie, and I don't want to even talk about anything else about it. It's just I we'll see. I'm gonna rewatch Spectre. Maybe Spectre will fall lower in the rankings than it, but I don't know, man. I hate this movie. I really don't like it.
Quantum of Solace, I'll probably just really quickly echo whatever I said almost a year ago now. Jesus Christ, I've been doing this for a year. Quantum of Solace feels so much like a movie that if it were handed to a director that probably wasn't doing this during the writer's strike and when the entire industry was in turmoil, could have probably been a really good movie, and it could have been a solid trilogy between Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, and Skyfall. But nope, it had to fucking suck, at least from a technical standpoint. I think that if you actually took the narrative and did it again, this would have a chance of being really good.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Okay, I'm done. 2 to 5.
Quantum of Solace is going to be the Mathis scene out of 10.
Oh, and
Like, literally, that's probably the scene in the entire movie.
yeah, and then Casino Royale was a 4 to 5.
Casino Royale is going to be a. It made me want to go to Venice, and I still want to go out
Yeah,
of 10.
Venice would be really cool. All right, let's
Mhm.
bundle another two here together. We'll talk about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes. Uh,
Oh, so sorry, Apes.
yeah, I'm sorry, Apes. Like, I mean, everything is going to get a little bit shafted here, but I mean, these are just really fucking great movies. And to be honest with you, I mean,
Yeah.
they you could just do a special episode on these all on their own.
Yeah.
They're fantastic movies. They're barely the perfect, like, as I want to say, kino blockbuster. Like they're just
Yeah.
they're just blockbusters that are
Higher
made
quality.
on a higher quality and a higher level, and you don't get that many anymore, unfortunately. You know, you got Nolan doing his thing,
Unless there's an IP
and
attached.
yeah, or an IP, or it's basically Nolan or Denny. But there's no one else doing these anymore. But these Apes movies were so well done, and I have all the hope in the world for the Batman after rewatching all of these. I think War is my favorite of the three. Not by a lot though. I mean, Dawn's really close for me, but I do think War is the best of the
Yeah.
three for a lot of different reasons. But I think it's packed such an emotional punch at the end, and the story of him basically
Yeah.
going and freeing all of his people. And Woody Harrelson is just great in this, and in that role, he's psychotic and so good. Um,
Yes.
and yeah, it's just such an achievement in capping off that trilogy, which I find sometimes the third movies they're harder than you think because you got to tie everything up
Yeah.
and kind of end them strong, but they nailed it and did it absolutely perfectly, in my opinion. So, and yeah, Dawn itself is really good. It's crazy how many actors I recognize from like TV shows and stuff, especially in that movie.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of them in
Hmm.
that, but they all did a really good job. And I mean, Caesar's the star of the show for all these movies, anyways. Fuck
Yes.
the humans, Caesar's the best.
Yeah. Correct.
And then the only other thing I'd say is apparently there's a reboot happening now. Like terrible idea. I have no interest in that. Like, I mean, if
Thanks, Disney.
there was a continuation, I'd have some cope, like some copium, but with a full on reboot,
Mm.
no. Disney doing it, fuck off. So no.
These are Very good movies. My God, they are so much better than I expected them to be. I remember that during the Dawn for the Planet of the Apes trailer. No, sorry, not Dawn. Rise. Wait, Rise. No, no, it's Dawn. Oh, I always hate that they should probably be flipped. Um, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I always thought it was gonna be a meme movie because I was like, monkeys on horses with guns, monkeys on horses with guns. And then when I watched it like a year or two later, I was like, oh my God, this is actually a real movie. This is actually really good. I went to go watch War in theaters. That was also really good. And I don't remember when. It was probably like 2019, 2018. They came out in 4K, so I bought them. And then I just put them on the shelf. I was like, yeah, you're probably good. You're probably just going to stay here. But of course, with the shelf rules, which I guess since I haven't mentioned in a while, if for some reason there's new people listening, quit while it's ahead, but I'll try and explain it for you anyways. The shelf, if I like it, it goes on the shelf. If it doesn't, well, it just doesn't, right? I need to love these movies, so whenever I have the shelf, I can point and be like, those are my favorite 100 movies, or however the shelf can fit. I will not get another shelf. If it is a movie that I love, another movie must get knocked out that I love less than that. So that is it. Um, I actually reevaluated these, I think, probably in hold on, it's 2022. I created Past the Pixels in 2021. So it's probably 2020 that I reevaluated them. And they earned their spot in the shelf easily. These movies are so damn good, and it does make me sad knowing that what you had said about Kino Blockbuster, how you can probably have people make some really good shit, but the problem is that they the executives are like, ah, well, we need it tied to something so we know it makes money. Yeah, you could probably make a really good movie, but we need you to tie it to the Planet of the Apes films because the charts show that people care about this IP.
Yeah, I agree. And I honestly don't. Fuck, man. I don't trust Disney for shit
Oh, not at all.
now.
Never.
Like, I just don't.
Unless there's a director.
Yeah, unless there's a director. I mean, there's a couple directors they could attach to that might make me excited, but then I guess my question is gonna be, it's gonna have to be somebody that's gonna do a better job than Matt Reeves. And like, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's gonna be hard. So we'll see.
I don't know, man. But do you think that Matt Reeves is going to do a better job than Nolan, or do you think he's just going to do something different?
Yeah, true. That's very true. That's yeah. If you get it, hopefully you get somebody in there. You're right. That can make something different. But
That does different.
Knowing
Yes.
Disney, I fucking doubt it. They're probably gonna tie it into the fucking MCU.
No, no. What I was thinking is that you just have okay. So you know how all the Disney remakes basically have like a self-aware slant to them. Like what is it? Like the Lion King. I think the Lion King, basically the remake, comments on itself, and it's like, oh, we're self-aware about the complaints. Oh, Beauty and the Beast, she just has Stockholm syndrome. Like they're self-aware of the joking complaints that people have, and then they fix what was never a problem in the first place. Do that for the Planet of the Apes. I don't know. To figure out something that was a joking problem about them and make that the entire issue. There you go. Now you have a soulless Disney remake.
God, I just fucking cringe listening to all that. Oh, don't like it.
Yes, I know. That's exactly what Disney wants you to do. They want your hate dollars.
Yeah, I don't like it. Fuck Disney.
Mm. The movies are they made me care about Apes out of 10.
Yeah,
That's the right score
there
for
you
them.
go. Dawn's a 4 out of 5. War is a 4.5 out of 5, and probably my second favorite trilogy of all time. So
I'm gonna jump in
sure.
here with my own combo. Princess Mononoke and Howl's Moving Castle,
Mm,
which are
mm, mm,
probably one and two. I
mm.
think Howl's Moving Castle might have become my favorite Ghibli because it is
Oh,
perfectly just this right tinge of magic and at the same time just a bit of existentialism. Big fan of that existentialism. I'm not gonna lie, the opening whenever Hal runs into I don't even remember her name, and I'm not gonna look it up because that might extend the runtime. Whenever they start flying and they start walking through the sky and the music was soaring, I was like, I love this. You've won me over. This is gonna be really hard for you to not get on the shelf now after that scene. And Hal's Moving Castle is gorgeous. The moving castle itself, it's
amazing
incredible
piece of
because
animation.
you definitely yes, you can definitely tell that it's 3D animated, but the textures that they put on there are so obviously hand drawn that you don't really care about the fact that the motion is smooth. And like it looks like the motion was made a bit jankier, so it looked a bit more like it was fully drawn. It is a feat of animation that I am so impressed with.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh,
I feel like Howl's Moving Castle, I feel like I can leave it there. Princess Mononoke, of course, the time I watched Princess Mononoke was like at 3 a.m. Probably not the most optimum way to watch that movie. My wife saw it and she's like, hey, you know what? I kind of want to watch that because you left me behind, you asshole. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Granted, fair point. So we watched it. And Princess Mononoke, damn, still good. The only thing is that I think probably a little after the halfway mark, after you get introduced to the deer god, I was like, this dipped a little, and that's enough for me to go Howl's Moving Castle as the new number one baby
I'm sure. Yeah, so for me, it's like I'm just shocked we have the same number one and two, although albeit in different orders.
for
I
now.
had Mononoke move, I had a Howl.
Mm,
But fuck, I love Howl so much. I'm so glad that somebody else is on my side about this because a lot of people, and in the LSM Discord, especially, it seems, kind of think this one's overrated, and I don't get it, man. Like this is the second ever Ghibli
mm,
movie I saw, and
mm.
I think it's better than Spirited Away. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I fucking love Howl's Moving
Oh,
Castle, and
I don't know about that one. I only watched it in theaters.
well,
I still have the steelbook there,
so
so at some point it will get
we'll have
rewatched.
to reevaluate that one, I guess. But oh yeah, Howl's is just such a it's the castle, like you said, the animation on it is just so outstanding. And yeah, there's something about that movie that just hits really hard for me. And I adored it. I just did a rewatch of it myself. Really glad to hear that one made it on the shelf because that one's definitely a soft spot for me. And I think besides Mononoke, that's if Mononoke is my favorite animated movie of all time, I think Howl's is probably second. So
Also, just in general, God, do I love Ghibli's art
oh, it's
style.
so good.
I love it. My God, I actually felt really sad whenever Sophie got turned in. Yeah, you know what? It's early in the plot, and it's the whole
Yeah,
thrust
you're
of the
good.
plot, so I can say it. Yeah, Sophie being turned into an old woman made me so sad because it was like, no, I love the way she looked. Please don't. But then eventually you just kind of see the old woman. I'm not going to say what I was going to say next, but like eventually that drawing grows on you more. It's like, oh, damn it, good, you did it still. But like, oh my God, the Sophie's art is just it just clicks with me so well. I don't know what it is, but like movie's so good. Also, shout out to Turnip Head. Turnip Head is the best.
We stand Turnip Head here on Passive Pixels.
God, I should name this Turnip Head, but you know, this is burying the lead so hard that I probably shouldn't do that. Um Howl's Moving Castle is going to be a Turnip Head out of 10, and Princess Mononoke is a my wife liked it out of 10.
Nice. Glad to hear she enjoyed it too. Mononoke is a 5 out of
Mhm.
5 for me, and Howl's Moving Castle is also a 5 out of 5. I adore both those movies very much.
Screw it. I'm going to slaughter another one. We're going to get Scott Pilgrim out of the way. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Very fucking good. I kind of thought that maybe it would be a little too much of its time. Yeah, it kind of is, but it's also so visually stylish and its own thing that you're like, yeah, this is definitely late 2000s, early 2010s, but this movie is so visually stylish that it knows what it is that it overcomes it. It's probably just more the people that because I know those people, it's like, oh well, yeah, that's of that time. But still, oh my god, honestly, if you look at Scott Pilgrim and you look at all the people that they grabbed, it's like, oh, how the hell did you get all these people as well? But it's also before their careers, you know, either tanked or before they rocketed. But still, Scott Pilgrim, incredible. Black Sheep, no matter how much shit that we can throw Brie Larson's way, she's saying Black Sheep and it's better than the original version. So Brie Larson's version of Black Sheep, we stand on Passive Pixels.
Yeah, great. Scott Pilgrim's fantastic. I've actually only seen it once, I think, so I'm very excited to rewatch it. I got it on 4K, so I'll be watching on the collection watch here pretty quick. And maybe we'll have more time to dedicate to it. But yeah, it's a great movie. Edgar Wright is an incredible director. Obviously, the man doesn't miss, and I mean that when I say that literally. I don't think he's ever missed with any of his films. So
Facts.
yeah, great movie. I mean, what else can you say?
Hello again, friend of a friend. I knew you well. Dun, 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 out of 10.
4 to 5, very good.
All right. That's it.
All
Back to
right,
you.
let me kill some more movies here. Let's bundle these together. And this one hurts, but there's actually another reason why I'm going to do this specifically. So, Blue
Mm.
Velvet and Mulholland Drive. Look, here's the thing.
Ooh.
I would love to have a deep conversation about these, and I'm going to even I know they're on Ed's watch list, and he'll get to Lynch eventually. Um,
Mhm.
When he watches these, we're gonna have a deep conversation about it. I'm gonna force it. Even if he hates these movies, I want to have a deep conversation about them because there's so much to talk about with these movies. I will say one thing I'm going to ask you specifically, and anyone listening to this that hasn't seen these movies, you don't have to watch them back to back. It's a big time commitment. I don't expect that. Whatever you do, watch Blue Velvet first, and then watch Mulholland Drive. Don't flip that order. Okay.
Noted.
Anyways, look, there's so much to talk about these movies, but because you haven't seen them specifically, I don't want to go into any spoilers or anything like that. All I'll say is this: Blue Velvet's very good. It feels like an '80s movie, definitely. It's this kind of erotic thriller that they love to do in the
Mm.
'80s. I'm not particularly fond of those. Those aren't exactly my jam. So this one doesn't hit quite as hard for me because of that. But hey, it's an enjoyable movie. There's a lot of good stuff about it. Definitely enjoy it. Mulholland Drive specifically, now that is a masterpiece. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. It has entered my top 20 now after rewatch of all time, and it will stick around in there, and we'll let it simmer and see where it ends up. But I fucking adore that movie. Very glad I grabbed the Criterion for it, which, by the way, the 4K cut in this Criterion is beautiful. Criterion is nailing it on their 4K so far, which I'm so happy to see, because the Uncut Gems one was amazing too. So yeah, this is a great 4K cut though, and it's a fantastic movie. And just seeing these movies and watching them so close in proximity to each other, I'd never seen Blue Velvet, but I had seen Mulholland Drive, although ages ago. I just find it so fascinating just seeing like you got David Lynch making these two films at two completely different points in his career. And it's so obvious to me that Blue Velvet is when he still had like a bit of optimism and faith in the world. And Mulholland Drive is just him when he's fucking done. And I love it. So it's probably another reason why I like Mulholland Drive a little bit better. But yeah, they're both incredible movies. I cannot recommend Mulholland Drive enough. But if you do watch them, do take the time to watch Blue Velvet first, because I think that will add to the experience, even if it doesn't hit as hard for you. But I still think it's a very good.
Okay, scores for those.
Blue Velvet is a 3.5 out of 5, and Mulholland Drive is a 5 out of 5.
All right. I will get to those eventually at a 10. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bundle these two together because what is a better chaser to Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive than Speed and Speed 2 Cruise Control, baby?
Yeah, you got very very
Ooh,
thematically similar movies there.
obviously, both of them, all of them like going fast, obviously, okay? You gotta run that bus over a bridge, it's okay, you'll be all right. Um, Speed 1 made me really sad. Um, Speed 1 made me really sad knowing that this movie was made by Fox in the 90s and now Disney owns it, and Disney being probably single handedly the reason of why we don't get movies like Speed anymore, because the era of the IP and the era of the superhero came in and basically said, we're your blockbusters now. Speed? You mean a creative idea with leads that you want to watch? What? We can't market a movie off of that. Put Iron Man in it, and then we'll make $1 billion. Watching this movie, for some reason, just that's what I think about. My dad being like, that's what you see. I'm just seeing people punch each other. And it's like, yeah, exactly. This is how I see every movie. Speed is that exact thing. I was enjoying myself so much during Speed because Speed is just so content with being what it is and it just wants to have fun. And I love it. It's just being fun. Also, I had no idea that this movie was rated R. I kind of was watching it the entire time. I was like, man, this is a really hard PG. This is good. Again, another thing that's dead. Successful rated R movies that aren't tied to a superhero. Thanks, Disney. Um, Speed is very good. Keanu Reeves, I think, actually acted for a little bit, which I didn't expect, but hey, it's there. But yeah, Speed, very good, very creative. I enjoyed this. Speed 2, I kind of expected it to be funnier to laugh at, but really it just kind of felt boring. The only thing that came to mind while watching this is like, man, you really had the unfortunate fate of having a boat movie where water floods things in 97 in the same year as Titanic. Ooh, that's a rough one there.
Yeah, that's not an enviable position, is it? I don't know about that.
Nope.
Yeah, yeah, I gotta watch Speed, man. I really do. I really want to watch these movies, especially like. Well, I don't know about the second one so much, but the first one I definitely want to watch. There's a really nice 4K steelbook on Zavi that I've been eyeing, but I'm like, I'm not gonna commit to that if I don't know if I like the movie or not. So I'm gonna probably stream it at some
Mhm.
point, find a place, see if I like it, and if I do, I might have to get that steelbook because I don't know. It seems like it might be a fun movie that's an enjoyable '90s romp.
I'm gonna go ahead and give Speed a please start getting more artists to write songs for movies again. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, well, that's the score out of 10. And another thing that I miss so much about 90s movies in general is bring back the Foundry Hammer. What is the Foundry Hammer? In your head, if you can hear a hammer hitting a piece of metal in a song, bring back the Foundry Hammer, okay? I love the Foundry Hammer, and it's something that is so 90s that you can hear like in your head. If you imagine the Matrix, if you hear the moment whenever I don't remember what it is, I think it's Neo or Trinity, they're like, I'm going into the Matrix, no, stop, like you'll hear in the background, clink, clink, clink. I love the Foundry Hammer, please bring it back.
Well, hopefully somebody listens to you and does that.
No
Um,
one ever was.
I'm gonna give it a. I think to get the full experience of cinema, you should watch Blue Velvet and then put in Speed 1. Then you watch Speed 2 and cap it off with Mulholland Drive out of 10. And that's cinema, folks.
It has drive in the name, so I really believe it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Speed 2 Cruise Control. The best part is the title because the title makes me laugh out of 10.
perfect. All right, let me try bang.
Oh, wait, shit. I want to mention this. I told my wife the name Speed 2 Cruise Control, and she's like, "Are you joking? Like that's the name?" And I'm like, yeah, it's like she's like, "You're fucking with me. There's no way that it's titled Speed 2 Cruise Control." It's like, "Nope, that's the name."
Didn't really think about that one. Well, or they thought it would be edgy and clever. Those were Askells. Those are Askells. All right.
All right.
Speaking of going, well, okay. If we're talking about speed and things going
Mhm.
fast, let's talk about Train to Busan. Um,
Oh, 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 oh.
yeah, there's a segue for you. Train to Busan. So I
Mhm.
actually really never even heard of this. Again, bets happen all the time. This was another bet, so shout out to Parrot, Mr. Brian B. Parrot, who, by the way, just finished Uncut Gems a little bit ago and loved it. So that's good to hear.
Good man.
But good man, exactly. He's expanding. He's expanding his cinema horizon. I'm watching his career with great interest. But yeah, he recommended this to me, and I actually really liked it. I think it's actually pretty fantastic. I'm not a big zombie movie guy, especially now. I think it's so overdone, and I'm basically over it. But
Yep.
no, this was enjoyable. It's uniquely done. It's a foreign film, Korean, I think. But yeah, really well done there. It kind of like I don't even like this game, but it kind of felt like if Dead Rising was ever to be made into a movie, it'd be something like this. I don't know. It
Mm.
was just a lot of fun
Mm.
there. It's kind of a unique setting for it, and they do some unique things with the regular tropes of it. Um, I I don't know, man. It was just a lot of fun. It had a really good, heartfelt ending. I felt, or not ending, excuse me. I mean, heartfelt story in general. Like the story was just, it's basically about a dad who's protecting his daughter throughout this entire thing, and so that's an easy way to get you to connect to it. But I mean, I didn't want to throw this kid over the side of the train like I normally do in these type of movies. Let's put it that way. So that was a point in its favor.
That's actually impressive.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the only other thing I really got to say is it's a shame. Apparently, I looked up this director afterwards, and apparently the rest of his movies are really bad, especially the ones that have come out after it. So I don't think I'll be exploring that filmography any further. But hey, at least he got one good one in there. I'm actually surprised Jake Gyllenhaal wasn't in this because it sounds like his trademark.
Yeah, Train to Busan. Probably never. Even if I hear it's a good zombie movie, it's like I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm
I
fine.
probably would have never watched it either if it wasn't for Parrot, so I don't blame you.
Okay, maybe I'll get my you know that's the score. I'll have my hand twisted out of 10.
Perfect. I'll. I think I've still got more than you, right? How many do you have?
2 left.
Yeah, fuck. Okay, I got 6, so let me go here.
Start
Uh,
killing the ones that don't matter.
I've already done that. That's what I started with.
Shit!
These are ones I
Shit!
actually liked and wanted to talk about.
Fuck! Oh, this show's a mess. We need to cancel this shit at some point.
It's okay. We'll just go here. Here, you could shit on this one for a second because you know how much I love it. I'll talk about Sin City. Look, I fucking love this
No,
movie. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'm just bugging you, you know that. You just because remember the other day you posted a screenshot of movies that you're like, why? What the fuck? Why did I watch this? And Sin City was in that. It hurt. That's
it was lodged in there. Like it's not like I
all.
hate Sin City. It's just that when I think about it, it's like, yeah, okay, and that's it.
That's fair. Look, I love this movie. I got it again. I got the steelbook for it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Honestly, I think it's just a classic. Every shot of this movie just feels like it's ripped straight from a comic book panel, and
Yeah,
it just looks gorgeous to me. Great directing, great style. I've always liked Robert Rodriguez's directing, even if I don't like all of his stuff. I think his directing style is pretty cool. Jessica Alba. bonk. And yeah, there's
Mhm,
just a lot of good tales in this one. I like the stories they went with. Just seeing the yellow bastard on screen, man, I would love a 4K cut of that because he would look amazing in 4K, but he looks absolutely as reprehensible and disgusting as I remember originally. And I don't know, it's just it that movie really vibes with me, and I dig it quite a bit.
it just whenever I think about it, it leaves no impression on me, and I don't think it's enough for me to even be angry, like, "Oh, it didn't leave me anything." Like, no, more of just, whatever. That's okay. I'm not gonna get mad.
That's fair. But yeah, shout out. By the way, amazing cast in that movie. So many good people in
Yes.
that. Rest in peace, Brittany Murphy. You were good in this too, not in a ton, but I saw you and I was sad because you were gone now. So a lot of good cast in it. Definitely, I don't know. It just feels, and it's a shame the sequel was so bad because holy shit, the sequel to this movie's terrible. Could have done something cool with it, but of course they fucked that up. So yeah. Also,
They
shout out to the
even got
Weinsteins.
Eva Green and they fucked it up.
True. Shout out to the Weinsteins because I'm sure you're having fun
Mm.
wherever you are right now, buddy.
I don't know about shout out being the right word.
Cancel. Let's go.
No, this isn't what You know what? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna force your hand. We're
Yeah.
gonna talk about Sink Street. Fuck you, Weinsteins. Fuck you. Why would okay? Yes, raping women really bad. Wow, I really can't say that and then say but, can I? Um, Also, fuck you for not getting any song from Sing Street for a nomination for an Oscar.
Oh,
Not even a goddamn nomination. You couldn't find the rest of your fucking money for hush money to get these women to shut up, and you couldn't put just a little bit money to get Drive It Like You Stole It nominated? Fuck you.
yeah,
Oh my god.
I actually have that as a note. You totally kneecapped me. That's funny. But yeah, no, I actually literally have that as a note saying, where is it here? The original songs in this are fantastic. Seriously surprised there was no Oscar nominations for this movie in the music department.
God.
But yeah, back to Sin City. That's
Ugh.
a, that's a 4.5. That's a 4.5 out of 5.
It gets me angry until I think about it.
Okay, we'll go back to Sixth Street. I got more I got to bang out here because we got to talk about Sixth Street too. But yeah,
Okay, the
uh,
Sin
um,
City, it exists out of 10. I'm not offended.
good. Okay, Old Boy. Actually,
Eh,
you think I'm doing this a disservice, but this is one Ed has to see. But again, this is another Mulholland Drive for me where we have to kind of. I think both need to see this, and we can have a much better conversation around it. But let's talk a little bit about it. Look, it's shot wonderfully. It's directed with such authority, and it always kept me on the edge of my seat while trying to piece together what was going on. So I really appreciated that. This is one of the best foreign films I've ever seen, bar none. It's an absolute stone cold classic that I just can't understand how somebody could watch this and be like, ah, this is boring. I don't like it. Like, fuck you. You don't understand cinema. That's your taste. I definitely need to rewatch it again because it's complex and there's a lot going on in it. And I think my opinion of it might even get higher. Uh, Amazing performances in this. I watched the sub. I didn't do the dub. And
Good
the
man.
sub was fantastic. It was just brought to life with good stuff. And yeah, I mean the ending was great too. I mean, I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about that movie, and I'm glad I took a chance and decided to buy that Gold Boy Steelbook. So it's not getting any cheaper, and it's pretty hard to find. So yeah, got a good deal on that one.
I don't think I can dip headfirst in with a Steelbook, but I did see it for $35. And I am also really close to thinning out all the movies I could watch alone. Now, at least from the tangential, the spirit of my wife that looms over past the pixels, she doesn't like anything even slightly dark. I have no idea what Old Boy is at all. Is that enough for me to be like, yeah, I could probably watch this alone?
You were watching that one alone. Do not
Okay,
watch
good.
that one with your wife.
Okay, good, good. Okay, then that does speed up the process of me getting it, but the also problem is that it's $35, and part of me is thinking like, yeah, it's probably worth that much, but I could also take $35 and I could buy a whole bunch of other movies, and that will last me a little bit longer before I have to buy more again. So, oh boy, I'll get to it eventually. Out of 10.
Bold prediction, and I could be completely wrong on this, and I'm wrong a lot of times. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Bold prediction though, you end up watching that movie and you end up going out and buying a steelbook. But we'll see.
I don't
But
know if I like any of the steelbooks I've seen though.
yeah, Gold Boy's great. Once you see the movie, you'll get it. But anyways, uh,
Okay,
uh, 4.5 out of 5. Great, fantastic movie. Okay, I'm
okay,
gonna keep going. How many do you have left? Sorry, two, one,
two left.
two. Okay, let me do like one more. or maybe two. 'Cause
Yes, I know
who
this is rough.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Yeah, great movie, just classic. It holds up so well. The animation's great. The way they blend it with real time. I mean, this is usually can be a bad trope if it's not done right. I mean, look at Cool World. This was really well done, though. It was perfect here. The 4K cut of this is holy shit clean. We'll talk about Apocalypse Now in a minute, which is also going to get butchered to hell. But
Oh, I'm so sorry.
this is honestly nearly Apocalypse Now level of clean. Like I could not believe how incredible this 4K looked from a Disney release too. Disney usually doesn't give a shit about their 4K, so I was stunned by this one. Like, just like, it must have been being worked on by somebody else or something. I don't know what's going on with this, but it was gorgeous. I mean, Who Framed Roger Rabbit's a classic. It's Robert Zemeckis. I mean, it's up there with Back to the Future with his movies. It's so recognizable and it's so well done. And also praise to be Ed for making me keep this steelbook and not letting me cancel it because he was right on that one. Because this one's going for like $100 too, baby.
Baby, call Janet Jr. He already watched the Steelbook. We're gonna be selling that one too. It's gonna be $3,000. Call us now and we'll give you a 10%
Let's
discount.
go.
Thank you, Janet Jr. We have actually negative 10 calls. She's actually called a bunch of her family members, so we're in the negatives now. This is going bad for us.
Fuck.
Okay. Yeah, Roger Rabbit. Very good movie. It's Robert Zemeckis at his most Robert Zemeckis, which is, man, look at this technology in this movie. Look at this shit. It's very good. Robert Zemeckis fell off ratio.
That's sad.
Keep going.
I'll keep going. Where were you going? Great movie. I loved it. 4 to 5.
Yeah. Special effects out of 10.
There you go. I love it. Hey, let's just fucking go right into Apocalypse Now. Let's fuck this up further. Look,
Whoa!
look. I'm gonna look.
It's gonna be 3 hours.
We can rush all we want. I don't give a fuck. But I'm gonna fucking talk. Okay, first of all, this movie's utterly fantastic. It's great. It's a masterpiece of a movie. It's fantastic. But holy shit, this final cut and the fucking dinner scene. Jesus fucking Christ almighty. This has got to be one of the most out of place scenes in any movie history, and it just destroys the pacing of the movie. Like, can we just talk about this for a minute?
Yeah, go for it. It's just that you already know that I'm looking at this. I'm like, fuck. How did we speed run this shit and we're still here?
So bad. I don't understand how you could have a scene in the movie that drives it down that bad. It's so frustrating to me. I mean, everything else in this movie though is just Kino as fuck. It's kind of funny to see how much Spec Ops actually just kind of ripped from this movie
Yes,
in retrospect.
which you
Uh,
can't forget that it's basically Heart of Darkness that they all ripped it from.
True. That's very true. But yeah, I mean, this is an epic war movie. It's so incredibly well acted. The 4K cut is probably the best 4K cut I've ever seen. The movie literally looks like it was filmed yesterday. Lionsgate bangers, they don't miss, do they?
You know what we need now? We need a Heart of Darkness album so they can have a great movie, book, and video game and album just so they hit every medium.
Yeah, it would be great. No shit. That's a good idea. I like that. You should work on that.
Okay, cool. It's all just gonna be it's gonna be Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones, but just 12 tracks of that on a disc, and it's like, yeah, that's Heart of Darkness, the album for sure.
Yeah, but anyways, that's it. I just wanted to get that fucking French scene off my chest because this really pisses me off, man. That's such a bad scene. So definitely pick the theatrical cut. The theatrical cut doesn't have that. It's definitely an improvement for sure.
Dude, I don't understand how the hell Francis Ford Coppola made so much good shit, but he's like also really insistent with both his cuts. It's like, no, keep the French. It's like, why?
Yeah, I don't understand that either, man. Like, I mean, obviously the guy made The Godfather, Godfather Part 2, and this. Like, the guy knows his shit. But man, I don't know, like, I swear he just has a momentary weakness of like the French. I can't fucking explain it. I don't know.
Seriously, the beef that I have with Ridley Scott over the replicant thing in Blade Runner is what I could imagine someone having for Apocalypse Now in the final cut.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, I mean, it literally brings down the movie for me because Apocalypse Now is like a 4 to 5 for me. That's how I rated it. It would be higher if it was not for that. That's how much I
It's
hate
okay.
that scene.
Just give it the extra half point since you know you're going to watch the theatrical and love that.
True. That would absolutely be a 4.5. I still don't think I'd go to 5 out of 5 on it, but 4.5 out of 5 for sure. So
Okay, got it. All right, go next. Or should I just grab one right now?
Grab one. Go.
Okay. All right. X Men First Class because I want to save the Brady Bunch for last. X Men First Class.
Wait,
This
so you
movie
got
has
three
been
left.
no two.
X-Men, Brady Bunch, and Sing Street.
No, no. You watch Sing Street.
Oh, I'm dumb.
No, 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 no. That's the thing. I
I'm
just
so
was pulling it from
stupid.
your list. Like
I'm
that's
so
what I meant.
stupid. Okay, carry on.
It's okay. Sing Street is lovely.
Go.
X-Men First Class. This movie, I love it more than what's actually here because I started watching it critically. Like I already know I like this movie. I wasn't really watching it to try it and like, just like, I want to watch it again. It's been sitting out of the collection for a while because it was one of the early movies that I pulled and I was like, I need to reevaluate you. Like, are you good? Should you stay here? And then I started watching it, and there's a lot of things in this movie where it just feels sloppy. The CG hasn't exactly aged too well, but for some reason, because this movie feels like it's a bit cheese, it gets away with the fact that the special effects aren't that good. It's fine. It kind of just has that 60s cheese to it that I think makes me forgive a lot of it. It does feel like there's a whole bunch of things that whenever it's like actually being directed, it feels like there's even a couple of things where like it's inconsistent in what's going on with the scene. I don't mean the characters themselves. I mean like literally I don't even know, man. I don't want to take up more time, but basically, it is a flawed movie. But I still love the sound of this movie more than anything else because it's got that 60s rocking guitar, at least the 60s spy guitar, right? And then well, I mean, honestly, Michael Fassbender is the fucking king of this movie. This man kills it. I don't know what it is about putting Michael Fassbender in a bar with Nazis, but every single time you do it, it's fucking gold, right? But yeah, X-Men First Class. I love this movie way more than it actually is. Like, I think it's good, but I love it as if it were more. And I think at this point, I'm probably going to be looking for a steelbook.
That's awesome. I find X-Men movies are interesting in the sense that they're either like fucking hit so goddamn hard or they're just so atrocious to me. I don't know if there's ever been an in between for an X-Men movie. And yeah, First Class is definitely one that hits real fucking hard and is real fucking good. Big fan of that
Mhm,
movie.
yeah.
Gotta
First
rewatch
Class.
though. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't know if I'm gonna go out and steelbook it, but I'll definitely be looking for a 4K cut for that eventually.
I just will say that if Logan did not exist, I think the Argentina scene would probably be the best scene in any X-Men movie.
Fair.
That one or the Magneto picking up the submarine out of the water. Like both of those scenes just
Mhm.
hit so hard for me.
That's fair. Yeah, those are great scenes.
X-Men First Class is gonna be a dun 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 out of 10.
I think I give it a 4 to 5, but yeah, I definitely need to rewatch that. It's been a bit.
Okay,
Uh,
carry on. I only have one more left.
yeah, I have two, so I'll do one here. The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Mm.
Look, this is honestly, I'm not a big cinematography guy. I appreciate it, I like it, but it doesn't carry a movie for me. That being said, from a cinematography perspective, this might be one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen, maybe ever. Like I'd have to rack my brains to think of something I've seen that I think is prettier than this. Every shot of this movie just feels like it's a fucking painting, and it's all done so minimally, and it's all in black and white, and it's absolutely stunning. It's a very minimal movie, very stripped down, very all stripped down. You can tell the budget was not big for this. Like I guarantee you, all the budget went to the actors in this movie, which they've got some great fucking actors in this movie. But like, it's just very plain set design, everything like that, and it's just you're making fucking art with this movie. I mean, I love the story of Macbeth in general, so I'm a little bit biased there. I think it's maybe my favorite work from Shakespeare that I've read. Well, I haven't actually read it, but that I've seen and adapted plays and all that stuff. And I gotta give him credit. I fucking hate Apple. I think Apple's the devil. You know how much I hate Apple.
Yep.
But holy shit, I streamed this. I got a 3 month free trial of Apple TV with the LG TV. Apple's streaming service is no fucking joke, man. This is in 4K
Yeah.
HDR, and I think it's better than Amazon Prime, man. It just fucking looked incredible. So props to Apple for that. Props to the one Cohen brother who did this. I'm not Ethan or Joel, I forget which
Joel.
one. Joel, thank you. He killed it on his own with this movie. This is very different from other Coen brother movies. You can't go in expecting a traditional Coen brother movie. And for the love of God, even if you don't normally watch a movie with subtitles, for the love of God, watch this one with subtitles because holy shit, if you don't understand Shakespeare, this is a hard one to get, but really great.
The cinematographer is Bruno Del Bonel. He shot an interesting list of movies that has me like, oh, Amelie,
Okay,
Paris de Tamis, um, Across the Universe, Harry Potter and the Half Blood Prince. Which is funny. I saw the Harry
interesting,
Potter in there, and I was like, what? What? Huh? And then I started thinking, and I was like, actually, Half Blood Prince. I feel like I can visualize that movie better than I can. So it's like, oh, okay, you get
interesting,
points for that.
interesting.
Inside Llewyn Davis, he shot that one as well. It's like, oh.
Oh, so that's where you did the Coens. Okay, interesting.
And no, that's the thing. I think from there he also did. Let me see. He did the Ballad of Buster Scruggs and then the Tragedy of Macbeth. So he just seems like a guy that the Coen brothers kind of like.
Yeah, fair. I mean, this was a match made in heaven for this one, man. Like, it is such a gorgeous to look at movie. Thankfully, the actual contents in the movie too. I mean, it's Macbeth. So if you know what Macbeth is, you know exactly what you're getting with this movie. You're not going to be it's not going to knock your socks off. It's just an absolutely fantastic rendition of Macbeth done in the most beautiful way you can imagine. Is the best way to put it.
Wait, hold on. Oh, wow. Okay. He is a Leo when it comes to the Academy Awards. He was nominated for Amelie, A Very Long Engagement. He was nominated for Harry Potter and Inside Llewyn Davis and Darkest Hour. Um,
That's interesting. He has to get nominated for this, to be honest with you. I don't know if he'll win it, but he's got to get a nomination for this one again because it's stunning, stunning work in my opinion. Stunning.
okay. That's okay, that's bullshit. In 2009, do you want to know who won cinematography?
That's gonna piss me off, but who?
2009.
I don't
Do
know
you
who.
want to guess?
2009? Hold on.
Avatar.
Oh fuck! Yeah, fuck off.
Come on. Okay, come on. No. Avatar doesn't really have cinematography. It's just
Fuck.
competently shot. There's nothing that's
Fucking
really milking it
stupid.
out.
They're taking the 3D thing and they're like, oh, that's cinema. No, that's not how it
Okay,
fucking
okay,
works, you
let's not go that far. Let's
morons.
not go. Oh shit, I forgot to put Rango on the list.
Oh, you're
Oh
wrong.
no.
Well, this is a shit show.
Shit. Oh fuck, when did I watch Rango? Oh
Just
no.
punt it to the next episode and cheat. Put it on there.
No, I need to because you know what? Rango is getting put into here and it's just gonna match it in the time in the timestamp, okay? So that's the thing. If you want to make the argument that Avatar is like, oh, just put the camera there, and then like that's the cinematography. Rango was shot by Roger Deakins, and you can still fucking tell that Rango was shot by Roger Deakins because some of those shots in that movie is like, why is this so pretty? There is no reason you needed to put an effort into this movie like you did, but you did it. So I'm gonna go very quickly and talk about Rango. Rango is very fun. I felt like I walked into it, and I think people are hyping it up more than it actually is, and I think that might be the same reason as in Dredd, where I feel this movie probably got ignored. That people talk it up more, so hopefully people are aware of it. I don't hold it against it. I just think that that's probably what it is. People talk about this so much that it feels like people are rating it higher, instead more just trying to spread awareness about it. Okay, there we go. We got Rango out of the way. It's in the picture. Maybe you can talk about it later, but still, nominated in 2009. Avatar, Harry Potter, The Hurt Locker, Inglorious Bastards, and whatever the fuck the white ribbon is. But like, dude, how I Harry Potter was hanging out with the rest of those movies. I feel like I need to go watch the Half Blood Prince again because I'm gonna hit Control F. I am currently on the Wikipedia page for Academy Award for Best Cinematography. I'm just gonna write in Harry Potter. Yeah, Half Blood Prince is literally the only time
That's
it got
interesting.
nominated.
That's interesting. Huh? Yeah, that
I'm so curious now.
yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised though. I'll say that much because I've never seen anything like Macbeth. Like that just has me excited to watch the other Coens he did. Like it's just beautiful, beautiful. So
Mhm.
4 to 5, really loved it.
Okay. Yeah, I may at some point bend the knee to Tim Apple at some point to watch this out of 10.
I love it.
Mm.
Oh
Uh,
fucking.
I only have one movie left, so do I go or do you
Do
keep
you want
trying
to
to
end
wrap
on
it up?
Sing Street or Brady? It's up to you. I don't care.
Oh, I'll end it. Okay, we'll end it with Sing Street because of course, right? Um, Brady Bunch movie. There is no reason for this movie to be as fucking great as it is. This movie, I dare say it, I thought 21 Jump Street was the first movie to take an original, like, old show, make fun of it, but still kinda show the appeal of why people liked it. Brady Bunch movie is the 21 Jump Street of the 90s, and I cannot fucking fathom how that even happened. Um, Specifically, I tried looking through and I was like, who the hell was behind this to have made such a fucking comedic movie, right? And the only thing I could come up with was that, like, it wasn't really the directors. Like, I don't really think that a producer is really going to be that important. What I think is the reason that this movie is good is the fact that the two writers who wrote that 70s show. Well, that's the thing. There's more writers on that 70s show, but the two people who specifically were casted with creating it, hold on, I'm gonna bring it up. There are three people that are credited for creating that 70s show: Bonnie Turner, Terry Turner, and Mark Brazil. Now, here's the thing: Bonnie Turner and Terry Turner wrote the Brady Bunch movie. And that's the thing. I really like that 70s show. I think it's one of those sitcoms that even if you took out the laugh track, it would still be really funny. And that's usually a good sign for older sitcoms. This movie is so fucking bananas that, like, I have no concept of the Brady Bunch as a show, but in my head I would just think, oh, the Brady Bunch are basically Full House of the 70s. Like, I'm pretty sure I don't feel like I'd be wrong in assuming that. And then the Brady Bunch movie feels so much like it's like, we are going to respect the fact that those are the Brady Bunch. They are just these positive people who never see the negative. And then the movie also goes, yeah, but we're going to beat the shit out of them and it's going to be hilarious. And it was right. I don't understand how the hell they were able to pull off a very Phil Lord and Chris Miller move where they get to have their cake and eat it too at the exact same time, where they get to basically parody the Brady Bunch and also celebrate why people cared about them. And I'm so convinced that the Brady Bunch movie was used as a template for Bonnie Turner and Terry Turner to show, look, you see the Brady Bunches in that movie, we understand what the 70s are like. So give us that 70s show, we'll get this aesthetic right. Also, one thing I want to mention, it is so fucking hilarious to me that the Brady Bunch movie, their house looks so fake. It made me laugh every single time they just went back to the house because the rest of the movie just feels like, yeah, this is in the 90s, right? And then you go into their house and it turns into a sitcom. I have no idea how they made all of these characters basically so unapologetically like, smiles, smiles, smiles. And yet the movie does it so well, of like with a wink and a nod of, yeah, don't worry. We know that this is uncomfortable and you're going to like it. And Jesus Christ, they are right. Also, shout out to Jan Brady, okay? The middle daughter had me fucking dying almost every single line that she had. Incredible, and it makes me sad that that girl does not have more of a career. Um, Anything else? I'll think about it if I think of it. But like Brady Bunch movie, holy shit! Wow, I don't know if I'm getting this one on Blu-ray. I still want to sit on it before I commit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if while you were talking, I was listening obviously, but I was trying to figure out if I'd seen this movie, and I still don't know. I still cannot figure out if I have seen this movie or not. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to check it out at some point and see A, if I have seen it, and B, if I've seen it. I've definitely watched the Brady Bunch before. I know that much, 100%, but I do not know if I have seen that movie. So I can't offer too much in the way of this other than to say, like, I remember growing up watching some of the Brady Bunch and remember the hijinks being fun, but that shocks me to hear that movie's even decent at all because it seems like that'd be such a weird kind of
It's
cash in
fucking
90s movie, right? But
great.
that's
It
interesting.
makes no sense that it's actually great. Like, I am so impressed by the sharp ass writing. Also, every single double entendre sex joke lands ridiculously hard. Where I was like, how are you landing this consistent of a hit rate? This movie baffles me about how good it is.
And baffled. Yeah, I'd be baffled too. I think honestly, like you look at movies and you're like, I think this one could be bad, this one could be good. And you see a Brady Bunch movie, like a '90s movie, you're like, oh, that's gonna be shit. Did you have any experience with the Brady Bunch before that, or
No, none.
no? Yeah, interesting,
No,
interesting.
no.
Yeah,
Outside of just general cultural osmosis, I've had no experience with the Brady Bunch.
sounds like a hit then. I wonder if we'll have to stay tuned and see if it ends up in the collection or not.
That's the thing. Apparently, it only came out on a Blu-ray copy with a very Brady sequel. So I think I might watch that, and that might be my deciding factor.
Fair enough. Oh, it was a
Mm.
sequel too. Hopefully that one's
Yeah,
decent.
but here's the thing: the fact that the title sounds as self-aware as that, it's like, ooh, all right, all right. So yeah, Brady Bunch movie is gonna be a 21 Jump Street out of 10.
It's I really wish I could figure out if I've seen this out of 10, but I guess I'll find out eventually out of 10. I don't know why I did that twice, but fuck it.
Okay,
God, everything's a shit
Sing
show.
Street, Sing Street.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't give out like we don't give out awards on the show except for last week the Great Tendies episode. But
Mhm.
if I was to give this award, this would be like the most shocking I've enjoyed a movie of the year. I know it's only just started, but it'll probably last for a while. Look, I thought I'd enjoy this. I actually didn't know if I'd enjoy this movie or not. I didn't know that much about it other than your undying love for it. But yeah, this movie is pretty fucking incredible. It's so there's just such a warm, positive, like just almost relentlessly so feeling about this movie. And every time, even when it hits you with the sadness and it hits you with the realness, it's there. It's there in life. It's there in the movie. It's always present, but it always finds a way to round you back in and kind of get things back going pretty quick. I mean, you talked about it earlier, but the fact that this movie did not have any songs nominated for Best Picture to me is nuts to me.
Criminal.
Like
Criminal.
the original music in this movie is so good. It's so good and catchy to the point where I've added it to my Spotify playlist. I haven't listened to it yet. I need to, but it's on there. I added it. It's so good. It deserves to be on there and it deserves to be heard. Guarantee you, a lot of people don't even know what the fuck this movie is, and that's a shame. But man alive, it's a good movie. I was looking through the director's filmography. He hasn't done anything since this too, which is a shame. I don't know what's going on with that or him. Maybe he doesn't just make a lot of movies, but I hope he makes some sort of follow up, like not a sequel to this necessarily, but like just something else because oh, his movie's so great and just it hits you with so many great themes. But there's nothing as strong as the brotherly love and the family connection there. They kind of hit you with
Oh
throughout the
my
movie
god.
and it's great, so shout out to my brothers Jake and Nate. I don't know if you guys are listening to this. God help you if you are, but I don't always say it, but I hate you little bastards from the bottom of my
Oh
heart.
my god. It's on Amazon Prime right now. Every single person who is listening to this in the US, for the love of God, Sing Street is on Amazon Prime. It was on Netflix for a little bit, and then when they pulled it off, I died a little because there's no way for me to be able to tell people, yeah, just go watch it. It is on Amazon Prime Video. Oh my fucking god. Please, please give this movie your time. I utterly adore this movie. And if we're gonna talk brothers, right? I feel like I have to mention this. When I showed my wife's sister and her husband this movie, by the time they got to the end, they're like, wait a minute. You and your brother aren't exactly on good terms. Do you love this movie because of the brother connection? I was like, oh shit, you might be right. Because here's the thing, Jack Trainer in this movie might be my favorite movie brother ever.
Oh, he's
Like,
so great. That scene where the parents are fighting, so he just kind of turns the music up and they just all kind of start fucking around louder together. That just hit, man. I was like, that's well done. That's like that. I felt something with that scene. It was very good.
dude, the movie opens up with the parents yelling, him plucking at his guitar, and him singing their arguments.
Yeah.
Just that is what this entire movie is. This entire movie is basically sadness, but willing to stare at it with a smile.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
fucking incredible.
and it's
It's
such it's such a selflessness. by the brother too, because like this entire movie is basically him like telling his brother, no, I fucked up. I fucked up. Like I've missed my boat. My chance is gone, but you're still young. You still have this chance, so take it. And as stupid as this sounds, and I don't know, you might laugh at me, you might not, but
Mm,
and I
I doubt
never
it.
do this. I think this is so stupid. I hate the idea that people do this. But when I was watching the movie, okay, overall, love this movie. Love this movie. I'm gonna do a minor spoiler here. So, wow, it's actually a spoiler. So, 3, 2, 1, spoiler. Sorry, but I have to do this. They're basically near the end of the movie where he basically is like, I want to go with this girl to England. Like, I want to go. And the brother's
Uh-huh.
like, when do you want to go? Like right now? And he's like yeah, or he's like when or whatever. He's like, yeah, they're like right now. And he kind of like, there's kind of like that split second pause. And he's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it, let's go. I literally clapped my hands and cheered
Yes.
yes. And I
Yeah.
hate that. I think that's so cringy. But I was
No.
like, oh my god, I got so caught up in the movie and the emotion of that moment that I loved it.
No, dude, the moment for me is when they see the boat. Like, they're going through those rough waves, and you're like, oh no, things are going bad. No, don't tell me that you've done this entire movie just happy, happy, sad, 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 happy, happy, and then you end on sad. And then when you see the boat, I'm like, yes, yes, they fucking did it. Ah, he's gonna become a big star.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
that's
god.
great. Like it just ends in a perfect place too. And that's the thing. Like that's the perfect part for me is we don't know what happens. He could become a big star, or maybe
Now
he
shut
gets,
up. Stop. Get your
or
fucking ambiguity out of my movie. Get your ambiguity out of my movie.
maybe he gets strung out on coke and ends up killing her. We don't know, but it's a perfect ending, and we didn't deserve it. Oh no, there's no ambiguity in this movie. It's just a pleasant time. I promise. Had to get had
Oh,
to we're at 3 hours, so we're at the capping point. I had to throw that.
what was your favorite song?
Oh my god. God, I don't know the name, so let me hold on. Which one was the one I liked?
You were standing at your bedroom like Find You is fucking devastating to me. I love that song so fucking much, but man, there are so many songs in this where it's like, how is this so good? Up is always so oh
I think it's probably Drive It Like You Stole It. That's the one.
god.
I love that
Movie
song.
Oh, that song slaps so hard. Oh,
Hmm.
I this one might end up having to get a special episode. I love this movie enough that it would literally just be just praising this movie for an entire hour. But this movie fucking deserves it. But oh my god, I love this movie so much. And whenever you have Rafina look at the main character and just be like, you're happy sad, you're sad, but you're happy about it. And it's like, that is the movie right there. That is the movie. Oh my god. I
Yeah,
fucking love this movie and I want to
yeah,
watch it again.
it's so great, and obviously there will never be a 4K cut or anything like that for it.
Nope. Thanks,
Which is,
Weinsteins. You just had to rape people and now I get gypped out of my 4K cut.
but
Thanks.
you did get a very rare, beautiful steelbook, and I'm incredibly jealous of that now. Now that I've actually seen the movie and give a shit, I'm like, oh damn, now I'm jealous. Funny how that works, eh? But
Dude,
yeah,
oh, that
gorgeous,
steelbook is gorgeous.
gorgeous
I
steely.
it's that was my Christmas gift. I asked for an eBay gift card so I can finally get this one off the list.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm I was shocked, just shocked at how much I liked that movie. I thought I'd be kind of positive on it because I heard again it's kind of a coming of age story too in there mixed in there, so definitely had that vibe to it. So I knew I'd enjoy it, but I mean that was near fucking perfection to me. It was really good, and I will definitely watch it again, and it might even go up further. So, great recommendation there, Ed, for sure. And I am glad that we can agree on that one. We may not agree on all your top movies there. Annihilation can go fucking jump off a cliff for all I care. But
It's okay, you got filtered.
Yeah, clearly. But no filter for Sing Street. It's just a pleasant movie with some sadness in there, but a little bit of happiness too to remind you that even in the worst times, there's still something else shitty around the corner.
The director has done pretty much three
Yeah,
other movies.
he hasn't done
One
much.
is one
I had
is
them all to
on
my
the
watch list.
edge. Oh no, I'm gonna give them a shot, but I've heard that none of those movies are even close to
Probably,
what
yeah.
he does in Sing Street.
I doubt it.
But On the Edge, I think didn't even get released on Blu-ray, so like that's
Oh
how
shit.
obscure that is. And then Once and a Begin Again, I haven't really heard anything much about those. But yeah, you know what? Sing Street is so strong that I'll give them a shot. Sure, why not? I mean, hell, he was able to trick me into liking Adam Levine at the very end of Sing Street. Like, how the fuck did you even do that? Because like that singing at the end, it's like, oh my god, this fits perfectly. Fuck you. I hate Adam Levine, but you tricked me.
You bastard.
Oh,
No.
dude, that the problem is that if you give me a beautiful shot, you can make me love a song I hate or just an artist I hate. So, damn it, they did it.
Yeah, I love this movie. We are at 2 hours and 59 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it 4.5 out of 5.
Sing Street is going to be it's going to get a special episode at some point, and I'll organize it, but probably after some point that I finish editing that Matrix special episode. It's fucking 5 hours, okay? Like, get off my back. I'll get it done at some point. I'm doing this shit for free, okay?
Perfect. Hey, look at that. We finished under 3 hours. Woo!
Okay, cool. End card. No 3 hours. No 3 hours.
Hey, look at you. You got to the end of the episode. From episode 0 to the day that I finally get lazy and cancel the show, a big thank you to Joey Rawlings for providing the perfect name for the show. Be sure to always give him thanks, either out loud as you're listening to this, or you can just send him a thank you tweet at boogeyman117_. That's boogeyman117, IE instead of Y, double O. Be sure that it's an underscore, not a dash, 117.